In the back tonight, we got Tyler Knudsen, our engineer tonight as well. There is some Bill Belichick stuff out there. I wanted to look at some of the free agents for the Patriots next year. Who should they keep? Who should they move on from? And maybe some potential free agents that have played for Mike Vrabel. We'll do that all throughout the night tonight. The phone number here is 617-779-0985. I'm alone for the next 90 minutes, so you want to call in, this is the time to do it. I have been called a green teamer. I am very confident in the Celtics. I don't consider myself a green teamer. But the reason why I feel like at times talking about the Celtics and being critical, it's hard, right? Best team in the league. They're having their struggles right now, no doubt about it. We'll talk about it. But just think of it right now without any panic. The Celtics, after winning it all last year, the long offseason they had, a lot of their star players played in the Olympics or worked out or whatever. Here they are at this point. We're finally starting to see some regression. And I think they're tired. I think that they're doing something when it comes to three-point shooting that's never been done before. Missoula ball has proven to work. They have, the second or third best record in the league. So, I mean, in hindsight, the pace is certainly off from last year. But forget about what it looks like on the court right now. I think you would take their record right now. I think you would take the performance that they've given. But something isn't right in that locker room at the moment. I think it's locker room driven. And this isn't someone in the media trying to stir up that their guys aren't getting along. It's none of that. But I just wanted to bring up at the halfway point, the Celtics, look at their record in the league. Coming off the championship. Basically healthy now with Kristaps Porzingis. So what is going on? A team that they beat by 54 points just a couple of weeks ago with 8 wins on the season, and they lose by double digits. It doesn't make sense. Like, it can't be the too many threes. It can't be, they're taking more twos. It's beyond that. There's a problem. I think the coach right now should be in the spotlight. I'm not saying he's on the hot seat or fire him. None of that. But when times get tough, he's pretty consistent. Right now, he's saying they should stick together. Jason Tatum had some interesting quotes after the game who said we need to stick together. The same Jason Tatum that scored 0 points in the fourth quarter last night. The fact that one of your best players scored 0 points in the fourth quarter, to me, that's not a Tatum issue. Tatum's proven he can win games. That's on Missoula. I don't think he's doing enough to at least get the star involved. And last night after the game, stick together. That seemed to be the theme. Tatum said the same thing, as I mentioned. We'll hear from Kristaps Porzingis in a little bit here, but I think he called out the team. Someone has to. Funny thing is, you didn't hear from Jaylen Brown, did you? And again, this is someone that's going to be like, oh, here you go, media, radio people, trying to start something that Jaylen Brown's not getting along. I'm not doing that. But 3 people spoke last night. 2 of them said the same thing. 1 of them said they need to play with more. Nothing from Jaylen Brown, who people call the real leader in the Eastern Conference and NBA Finals MVP. Right now, Jaylen Brown is shooting one of the worst in his career. 45% from the field, second worst in his career. His 32% three-point percentage, worst of his career. He's not playing like the guy that was the Finals MVP that got the Celtics over the top. I can accept stretches from Derek White and Peyton Pritchard because they're not all-stars, although I think Derek White's pressing and trying to be one. Brown is not even playing at an all-star level right now. And quite frankly, and it's proven, he is who puts the Celtics as the best team in the league. Tatum has been as consistent as possible. Skaz made this point last night. For the people that want to say Brown versus Tatum, who's more consistent? There's no doubt about it. It's Jason Tatum. And it's nights like last night where you point to and say, that's why Tatum's the best player. But to make them the best team in the NBA, It is Jaylen Brown who puts them in that situation. There's been too many disappearing acts from Jaylen Brown this season. The last 2 games, he's 10 of 30 from the field. He's shooting 33%. He has 26 points. In the month of January alone, he's had 2 20-point games. Games with 16 points or fewer, 3. It's the lowest 3-point percentage of his career. The lowest 2-point percentage of his career since 2017. It's the lowest field goal percentage offensively since his rookie year. When times get tough like this, I feel it's on the coach. This team has proven that they're entitled and think they can roll the balls out there. They've proven all of that. But it was Mazzulla and Mazzulla Ball and his approach and his message that has kept this team together. And that was the comments last night was need to stick together. And it's just, that makes me feel like when you're talking like that, there's something internally wrong. And I'm not trying to stir the pot on anything, but it's beyond what's going on the basketball court last night. It's beyond it. And then Porzingis, his comments, very, very interesting. So we'll lead it off there at 617-779-0985. That's the phone number if you want to jump aboard. I'm about to hop into the YouTube chat as well. I know we got a lot of people watching on chat tonight. You can certainly I want like a real explanation. I think it's easy to sit here and say maybe they're tired. I do think the Mazzulla Ball and the amount of threes, as I mentioned, never been done before. So are we now seeing a regression? And if you look at the team, I think everyone's regressed probably besides Tatum and Pritchard. Everyone else on the team has absolutely regressed this season, and I wonder if it's the increase in shots, because it's certainly not showing up on the defensive end. I think it's been the little things. I'll be consistent. I think it's been rebounding and transition points. But now they're getting outworked, and now they just look tired shooting the basketball to the point where they're not even playing defense. What's going on with the Celtics? 617-779-0985. You can join us on YouTube as well. We have Skaz here. We'll hear from him as well. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This fourth quarter, things kind of got worse. What did you see in the fourth?
I thought we had no spirit again. We had no personality today as a team. We're just going up and down. It's weird to say. We have high character people here, but it's just things are not going our way. We're a step slow here, there, this. Just no spirit, no personality.
No spirit, no personality. That from Kristaps Porzingis last night after the Celtics loss in Toronto last night to one of the worst teams in the league in the Raptors. Back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray, hanging out here at the Sylvan St Grille in Peabody. They got multiple locations, Peabody and Salisbury, but we're here in Peabody. The bar is packed. I see something over there. What is that, a buffalo something right there? Oh, yeah. And I see it looks like a chicken sandwich or a grilled chicken sandwich right there. I'm just gazing at the tables as I continue to talk Celtics here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Phone number 617-779-0985. Is anyone offended by what Kristaps Porzingis said? I don't think he's wrong by any means. And by the way, leadership from him, right? But what I mean by offended is, how much has Porzingis played to talk like that to the team? You know? And what all Porzingis has done wrong is been hurt. That's it. He's been a model teammate. He's been a great player when healthy. No doubt about it. And since his return, he's been outstanding. But is his play interrupting some of the chemistry on the team? I think that's at least worth the discussion there. So I am curious to Celtics fans out there, or even Celtics haters for that much. What do you think about those comments from Porzingis? I at least thought leadership. Someone besides Tatum and Brown is actually taking accountability for the team. And he did say they're all great guys, and he didn't attack them personally. But the coach and the top player on the team say stick together. He has completely different comments. So I am curious how some people feel about the Porzingis commentary. You can certainly call in about that one. I see Ryan in here. Okay, I see a bunch of people in our chat. I'm on YouTube right now. Sean says Porzingis knows the locker room better than we do. That's a good one. Joe, don't make me come visit you. I could see Sylvan St Grille from my office. Listen, I will never threaten you guys with a good time. I did want to play this Scal stuff. Skaz, you got to hear this thing from Scal. This is Brian Scal. So again, we work the radio broadcast. So I necessarily don't have the volume up. I can't really hear what's going on. And at times it's a good thing. All right. But this was Scal after the game last night. I can't wait to hear your opinion on it, Skaz. But this is Brian Scalabrine talking about the team, and maybe they're too good? Let's hear that commentary.
Joe Mazzulla might have to make a tough decision right here. You know what? I got a lot of dogs on this bench. I'm just going to go with the guys who are playing the hardest. I'm just going to go with, maybe the Stay Ready group, or, it's Pritchard, Hauser. You're going to throw Cornette in there, Al Horford. If those guys are making an impact, you just got to go with those guys, right? I just think I wonder at what point does Joe say, all right, if we're not going to play with that edge, I'm just going to go with the guy who's going to play with that edge. And that's a hard thing to do when you got a team like we have. It's almost as if we have too many good players. Think about it. When we're healthy and whole, we're not good. We don't play as hard. And you would think, man, listen, I have guys behind me chomping at the bit to get in. We have all this depth. But when we're whole, it feels like we think, oh, we're good. We're healthy now, and we're going to win, because that's what the NBA does. When you're unhealthy, oh, we're unhealthy. That's why we lose. Well, when you're healthy, do you think all of a sudden you could just show up and go out there and play and just get it? It doesn't work like that.
What'd you think of that one, Skaz? I mean, they're too good, and this and that. Man, I don't feel that way. The only thing I would say is they're still trying to work out Porzingis. And again, the Wii Network. But what'd you think of that one, Skaz?
Yeah, an awful lot of wheeze in that minute cut there. But yeah, I'm out on them trying to get out of the funk by playing Luke Cornett and Sam Hauser. That's not exactly how I would go about it. I would put more pressure on Derek White and Jaylen Brown to get out of this slump. That's what you need. These guys, and Mazzulla said it postgame. We played it last night where he said Derek White's going to keep playing. He's one of our better players. He's an impact guy. He's going to be out there. We're going to keep throwing him out there. So I believe that's what Mazzulla is going to do. And yeah, I'm out on Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser, and Peyton Pritchard, now Horford saving the team. I don't think that's how. I don't think that's how the Celtics are going to right the ship.
What do you think they do right now? I mean, Orlando's a good team. They've given them trouble in the past. I wonder if maybe they do kind of tighten up a little bit and get a win. So I don't even know if they can win. Like, they got lucky against New Orleans. I'll at least admit that. But, the one thing I'll say, guys, is fourth quarters, man. These fourth quarters have really been bad.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're running out of gas or something. They have no legs. They're not playing any defense. It's... and it was an effort thing the other night. I think at times this year, their ugly losses, you can say, at least they gave effort. They looked like they were engaged. They didn't look like they were engaged. Jaylen Brown was sleepwalking at times defensively. And again, Derek White, another guy who you expect him to be out there making impact plays every night. He hasn't been doing that. His offense has been brutal. Jalen's shot has been brutal. So for them to turn this around, I think it starts on the defensive end, whether that's, Porzingis off the bench, whether that's different rotations with Holiday and Brown. I'm not really sure where they go. I do think that, the Mazzulla thing, and I heard a little bit on the afternoon show where they're so committed to playing one way. Does that become easy to guard and easy to attack? Maybe that's part of it too, and they need to switch something up on both ends. But for me, it starts on the defensive end. They don't play any defense.
They play zero defense. Zero. It's like they think the other team will just not hit their shot almost. And I will. There are numbers out there, by the way, that show that when the teams are playing the Celtics, they're shooting lights out. Now, last night, the Celtics shot better at 3 than Toronto, and they lost. But the defense has absolutely been a huge issue there. And there's some fourth quarter minutes that I did want to bring up coming up in just a second here. But, man, these fourth quarter numbers, their last 12 losses, their offensive rating in the fourth quarter is 102. Their defensive rating is 130. That's almost a 28-point difference. They rank 28th in offense, 25th in defense, 30th in net rating, and it's not good enough. And they used to pull out these wins. Now it's woof. We're now starting to wonder if there's something wrong in the locker room. Wow, try to say that one again. Wrong in the locker room. Like, this is all we have, right? Because they're too good for this. They're completely too good for this. All right, again, the phone number here is 617-779-0985. I'm working through some technical issues. If you can help me out with this one, Tyler. I'm trying to get the phones. What do we got for a phone calls, guys, if you want to pull someone up for us to get us going here to start the show?
Yeah, Joe, we'll hear from John in Northborough on the Celtics' lack of defense.
John, how you doing?
I'm good, Murray. How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Look, you guys you're stealing my thunder. Look, it is completely defensive. The problem is defensive at this point. I would love them to get together in the locker room and say, our next opponent isn't going to score 100 points. Forget about offense. Forget about what we score. We're holding the other team to 100 points, because it seems to me that collectively on the defensive end, they're all looking at each other going, I'm not going to play real hard defense, but the other four are, and they're all thinking that. And when you look at a collective, they are what did Toronto shoot last night? Over 50%. That's a poor team. It's going to start on the defensive side of the ball, and I don't think it's a locker room thing. I don't think it's a coaching thing. I don't think it has anything to do with offensive, too many threes, this and that. Put the effort in on the defensive side of the floor. Look at my dad, the old ball coach, my father.
Oh, okay, thanks, guys. We can hang. I don't want to do back in the day. And I'm sorry if he's offended. I do apologize, sorry, but I'm not sorry. How about that? This is something we haven't seen. This is new basketball. If you want to talk about new age hoops, everyone's shooting threes. And I'm not against the Missoula ball. Like, I'm actually for it. It's proven. They've won a championship. It's absolutely proven. I'm just wondering if this group's tired. They've increased the three-point shots this year. They've increased it. The defense is a no-show. It's funny. I actually talked with Sean Grandy about this for a minute last night. And I said to him, hey, man, do you think they're just running out of gas? And he goes, no, it's beyond that. And I'm not saying he's like, tied in or anything like that. Because, he just calls the games. He sees what he sees. I think it is a little bit beyond. I'm sorry, I'm on the air. I'm working my job. But it's beyond that. We'll go to the phones here at 617-779-0985. Who do we have on? Let's go. You're on the air. How you doing? I'm Joe.
Hey, Joe, it's Justin.
Justin, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing? I didn't have a thought on the Celtics last night. I think it's a real deeper problem with the Celtics over the last couple of weeks. Not just last night, but over the last couple of weeks. Defense is their problem, and there's no accountability for this team. And I found that to be a problem, Joe.
It's a problem, my man. It's a problem, dude. So what, does everybody just lock down, just worry about the defense, don't worry about the shots? Is that it? Just today, everybody just play defense. I didn't mean for that guy. That guy just walked right up to me while I didn't mean. I think he left. I feel bad now. But I'm working. I can't help you. What do you want me to do? Did you see that? Nobody else can. It's on the radio, so nobody can see. But the guy just walks right up to me and is like, hey, excuse me, can I ask you a question? I go, dude, I'm working here. Who do we got on line 2, Skaz? Let's, I can't see the names. That's why I'm asking. Hello, line 2. How are you?
What's up, Joe? How's it going, man? You're my favorite show on 98.5.
Nice. What's your name?
I was just going to throw a couple names out there. Stevenson's 4 years, $38 million. I think that's insane. I think we cut him and go after someone like Aaron Jones or J.K. Dobbins, two free agent running backs.
Huh? So you want the running back, huh?
Yeah, I think we need a big name this year with Vrabel. He's got to step up. And then one other question, I'll hang up and listen, is if you had to choose a couple players that you think Vrabel is going to step in and cut, who would they be? Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to go Kyle Duggar. I do have a list. I have a list for you coming up in just a little bit. Live here at the Sylvan St Grille in Peabody, Mass. I'm here. Tyler Knudsen's next to me. And we'll have more. By the way, speaking of football talk, what is the story with Bill Belichick? I've always smelled this one. I'm a sniffer, Skaz. I've always sniffed out that this guy's going back to the NFL. So, although it may not happen in the next 4 weeks, it is going to happen. I predict Bill Belichick back in the NFL. We'll get into that coming up here on the other side. But first, let's get to the Sports Hub headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, the Celtics off that loss last night. Try to get back on the winning ways on All right, back here 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Live from the Sylvan St. Grille in Peabody, Massachusetts. Eat, drink, and chill at Sylvan St. Grille. I just put in an order of buffalo egg rolls, buffalo chicken egg rolls, and steak and cheese egg rolls. And I believe Tyler got some potato skins, something like that. Maybe I'll tweet it out, you know. Skaz is alone back there tonight. I feel like I should send you a pizza or something. People said hi, Skaz, here at the bar.
Yeah, we're doing just fine, you know.
You're doing just fine? What do you got? What do you got? Anything on tonight? Like TGL or anything like that?
We got Thunder Cabs coming up at 7:30.
Ooh, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Did you see who the MVP, the favorite in the league is?
I'm guessing it's SGA now.
Yeah. Did you hear any tears today? There was some top player in the league tears.
No, I unfortunately missed the tears today.
Well, I did too, but someone, wanted to be like, did you hear what Matt said? Blah. So, again, I feel like we've been critical tonight's guest. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think rightfully so. The Celtics have not been playing well. I'm getting a thumbs down from Mike in the other studio.
Of course. Of course a thumbs down. He didn't like the tears. That's probably where I'm going with that one. Hey, right now the Celtics stink. Something doesn't smell good in that locker room. And I tried to give you the take last night that they're more focused on the road than at home. And then last night they lose by double digits to a team with 8 wins. The Raptors suck. They suck. They play down to bad teams. It's awful. It's almost embarrassing. But are they second tier? No. Are they entitled? Absolutely. And this is why I bring up Jaylen Brown. I've always said this, so I'm being consistent. I'm not even talking out of school. When Jaylen Brown plays to his actual potential, the Celtics are the best team in the league. But he is very inconsistent compared to Jason Tatum. And we could do the Tatum argument versus Brown, or, the two of them don't get along or any of that. I know they were out together recently, so there's none of that going on. It's just a fact. Jason Tatum, more consistent than Jaylen Brown. That is a fact. But, Jaylen Brown wins the Eastern Conference Finals and the MVP. Tatum, more consistent Jason Tatum on a nightly basis. Brown needs to be that guy, and I think he's a big part of the problem that they're having right now. Skaz, you brought this up real quick. Remember those workouts we were watching in the offseason? He was in the pool, working out and doing those, strength and conditioning stuff. He's beefy, right?
He's a little beefy.
He's beefy. Do you think the fact that he's beefy might have a problem, might add to maybe some of his struggles so far?
He's too jacked is where we're going. He's too jacked now. My only thing on that is, maybe work out above water sometimes. Maybe work out on your jump shot. I don't know. That would be, try that out. I don't know if the underwater workouts are translating this year.
Green teamers, don't get mad about that one. And when I say, maybe worry about your jump shot than what you're going to wear tonight, that's just me being a jerk, okay? I'm being a jerk. I know, I'm very aware that when Jaylen Brown plays well, they're the best team in the league. Right now, he's not. How about the Derek White thing? I don't know. If you were going to guess on it, I think he's fatigued. But Joe says he's going to play. So I think he's fatigued, Skaz. Okay. 617-779-0990.
Well, I was going to say, Joe, isn't he the one that shouldn't be fatigued, though? Out of White, Holiday, Tatum. He's the guy that didn't go to the Olympics, right?
Brown, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
He's the guy that should be, going on. Yeah, people want to talk about Tatum's MVP run this season. He's the guy with a chip on his shoulder. Shouldn't Jaylen Brown be the guy that has a chip on his shoulder this year? Shouldn't he be the guy that came ready to play this season, that didn't go to the Olympics, that was upset about that?
I agree with you. And Kendra brought this point up last night. I will give her credit for it. Tatum's been so consistent, so I don't want this to sound like a knock. But this was the year for him to take that. And I think he's trying to, but now he's not getting the support from Brown. Fair enough. All right, 617-779-0985.
Sorry,
Bill
Joe,
Bell.
I was talking to Luis back here, but
Luis, man, what's up, Luis?
someone in our chat brings up a good point. Tatum did that Netflix starting five show last season.
Yep.
Jaylen Brown is on this year's version of that with the film crew following him this season. Hey, Jaylen Brown's got a lot of stuff going on, off the court. I don't want to, make light of the break-ins or anything like that. That's been a big story. I'm sure that's, a mental thing he has to deal with. But that crew following him around all season too with his struggles, I'm sure that he's not having the best time. I'm sure he was hoping that, that was going to be like his vengeance story, his I deserve to be in the Olympics kind of like, mini documentary thing or whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot off the court going on with Jaylen Brown as well.
Is that why they just need to stick together?
Got to stick together, Joe.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll go back to the phones here. I don't know who this is, but caller, you're on the air. Hi, caller.
Yeah, hey, it's Dan from New York.
What up, Dan? How you doing? What's up, Sue?
Good, thank God. Yeah, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking that, the Celtics last year, they finally proved that they're good in the clutch time. They're good in Derek White hits a clutch shot. Jaylen Brown hits a shot with 6 seconds left against the Patriots. And now they're just, okay, fine, we're able to do that. We got all the pressure off us that everyone said that we choke up in the fourth quarter. Now they're not. Last year they said that, we're not choking up in the fourth quarter anymore. But now they just think that they could slack off.
Oh, well, I don't. That's called entitlement. They think that they're so good that they can roll out the balls out there. So I certainly agree with that one. We've just been delivered our food, Tyler. And, I feel like I should do like an honorary, like there's like an honorary toast. I'm just going to do an honorary bite, Skaz. Have we done an honorary bite yet in 2025 on the air?
Probably not 2025. Probably the last time you were at Sylvan Street.
Yeah, and I know, well, because, I wish Street, this is the night where I wish Street Team Joe was here. So we can, really, eat. You know what I mean? All right, ready? I'm dipping. Here we go. Yeah. You hear that crunch? Anyways. All right. Well, we'll take a quick break. A lot of Mike Vrabel. Brian Hoyer, remember him? He's got some thoughts on Mike Vrabel. We'll listen to that coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
I couldn't understand, like, when I get on social media and people talk about, like, Ben Johnson over Vrabel. I get it. Like, Ben Johnson, offensive guru, the offense is clicking. And I wasn't inside the locker room, but I covered you guys as your DA. And to me, what the team needed was what Vrabel brings. When he gets up there and says, we're going to get rid of the entitlement from the team. Like, when you talk about Taylor Lewan and what he's talking about, like, that's what he's preparing those players for, because Braves understands that the biggest and best part of the team is being accountable to each other and not being entitled. We've talked about it before. The favorite sign on the wall that I always pass through was mental toughness, doing everything that's right for the team when everything's not going right for you. And I think that's what Braves is talking about. Like, you got to come in and it's about the team. It's not about you as an individual. And I think he'll bring that to a young group.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. That was former Patriots quarterback Brian Hoyer talking about the difference between Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson. You know, someone was actually chirping. I hope they're listening. Someone was chirping at me today being like, Joe, you completely discredited everything Mike Vrabel said about what he's going to do for Drake May. And I was like, well, what did he say he was going to do for him? And at this point, they just hired. They wanted to get the coach so fast. So fast. Still no offensive coordinator. So does that make you think Alex Van Pelt's just coming back? Do people want that? Flip side of it is, could there be somebody that he wants that's currently in the playoffs? That's interesting. So I just wanted to push back on that a little bit. Like, I think the reason why he wanted to go to the Patriots was because you're going to get a really dynamic quarterback. Absolutely, duh. Like, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that? But all along, the guy that I wanted was someone who can run the offense, but also work with the current quarterback. And with that rookie contract, go out and get other, whether it's free agents or through the draft, which has already been a problem here for years. But, you don't want to have to spend big money on those types. Like T. Higgins. Everybody's all in on T. Higgins. And I would love for the Patriots to be in on it. Dude's going to get a boatload of money. Is he a number one? I don't know. Is it better than what the Patriots have? Absolutely. But now here you are spending big money. Yes, you are helping Drake May. And if that's the solution, then great. He did mention the different types of free agency that's happening, and they're going to be aggressive. I mean, they have to spend money this year. Absolutely they do. Like, they have to. But it sounds like they wanted somebody in there that they were comfortable with, that could go directly to ownership and have people work under them and start that scouting point system that they have or whatever. I'm just waiting for the next offensive coordinator. My pick would be Josh McCown. He's available right now. I mean, why aren't they even interviewing him right now? The Vikings are out. Is he not a consideration? Are they trying to keep it low? And I was thinking about this. Of all the teams that are still in the playoffs, which teams still have an offensive coordinator that the Patriots may want? Could it be Joe Brady? I mean, he's trying to be a head coach. And why would he leave Buffalo? Todd Monken's trying to get a head coaching job. Would Bobby Slowick leave C.J. Stroud for Drake May? I mean, I'm spitballing here, but anyone that's in the play, maybe it's Nick Caley. Maybe it is Nick Caley. That's an interesting one. So, just throwing a couple of names out there. Still waiting on that offensive coordinator search. The Patriots certainly will be having soon. I thought they would have already done that by now. The other thing I wanted to mention, how about this Bill Belichick stuff? This today from Jonathan Jones of CBS. Bill Belichick does not have a signed contract at North Carolina, which is not uncommon in college, but does introduce gray area as to how much, if any, of the $10 million buyout would be paid should he bolt for the NFL. Tom Pelissero had something to this last week where he hinted towards it. I always wondered, when does that $10 million buyout happen? When the season starts? So right now there's a gray area. If he wanted to go to the Cowboys, there might not even be a $10 million buyout. But I don't know, according to the Instagram today, the gram, I always go to the gram. Bill Belichick's, is it his girlfriend? Jordan? Well, they're all in Carolina blue, holding the football with the old blue in the background. They're all in on North Carolina right now. They're all in on it. It would be a really poor look for Bill, but man, if you wanted to have the opportunity to get out of this, like if you wanted that, it's going to be a really bad look, especially the girlfriend. Maybe she got a job there. I don't know. Maybe she wants to work on the cheerleading team or the gymnastics team. I don't know. Could that be the reason why he took the job? Whatever. While an unsigned contract is not uncommon, it makes a potential move to the NFL easier, as the $10 million buyout is no longer a problem. The two teams that have reportedly shown Belichick's interest, Raiders, Cowboys. Situation got a little bit more interesting after that report, and here's another one that came out. And Ed Warder, by the way, former ESPN guy, he is so tied in to the Dallas Cowboys. Like, this guy was like Mr. Cowboy. Mentions Deion Sanders, if was offered the job by Jerry Jones, he would accept. Those around him are encouraging him to pursue it. Jones is enamored with the idea. Deion Sanders at the Cowboys would be legit. Him and Dak Prescott, could that work? I think so. But Bill Belichick's still out there. Deion Sanders or Bill Belichick, Skaz? Do you have one on that one? Deion or Bill? NFL.
I mean, right now I'd have to go Bill.
Me too.
Yeah. The Deion thing, I just wonder, does he try and get Shedeur? What does that roster look like? I think Bill is more turnkey if they want to keep Dak and try and build from there. I think if they go with Deion, they're kind of blowing the whole thing up.
Ooh, so you think like they could be like a Dak trade?
I think if Deion goes there, he's going to do everything he can to try and get Shedeur there. I don't know, what that looks like, but I can't imagine he's going there and he's not going to try and get his son there as well.
Well, I don't know. Based off those draft rankings, maybe he'll fall a little bit. Imagine if the Cowboys stole Shedeur from the Giants. That'd be lovely. Anyways, all right. Well, there's your football minute with Bill Belichick. Joe Mazzulla talked today. He was on with Zoe and Beetle. We're going to play some audio for you with that, and we're going to talk to Brian Barrett. He is from The Ringer, and he's from Peabody. And he's going to join us here in just a little bit. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Tom Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. Your home for every Patriots game.
It's going to look different, and it's going to smell different.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub. A Leslie Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, no Celtics, no Bruins. Celtics back in action tomorrow night. Bruins play on Saturday when they take on Ottawa. But we mentioned this earlier today about Bill Belichick. The report from CBS does not have a signed contract at UNC. And, well, there are a couple teams interested. Also, a report from Ed Warder that if Deion Sanders was offered the Cowboys job, he'd be interested, and people are pursuing him to take the job. Joe Mixon, questionable this weekend in the playoff game against the Chiefs. Headlines, they are brought to you by the Commuter Rail. Ride unlimited all weekend with a $10 holiday weekend pass, which includes Martin Luther King Day on Monday. Get your 3-day pass now with the M-Ticket app. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
Some people play the game.
Hey, Jaylen Brown. Blocked by Horford.
Some talk about
Let's welcome to the Sports Hub Celtic Show, by the way. Jim Murray, Chris Gasper.
The Sports Hub Celtic Show with Murray and Gasper. Saturdays at noon on the Sports Hub.
Nuggets coach Mike Malone had some interesting quotes about kind of coaching in a season coming off of a championship last year and how it presented some different challenges. Have you noticed that this season?
I think every season presents challenges, whether you're whether you're win or not. I mean, obviously for me, for us, this is the first time that we're in that situation. And so you're not going to know what the challenges present themselves until they do. And that's where you have to have an awareness to it. You have to have an honesty to it. And that's where you got to, me and D. White are talking about, stick together and get through that. And so I think sometimes when, you get into the situation, you just assume that it's just, we're going to pick up right where you left off and you're going to, just everything's going to start to click, and you got to work for that. So, and you can't, whatever the result from last year is, you can never anticipate or determine when the tough stretch of a season is going to come. They happen all the time. I think this team is unique because it's, you're always going to look at the lens of the past result, and last year there weren't any at all, really. And so that's kind of, now that we're seeing this team in a particular test for the first time since we've been together as a unit. And, we have to do the necessary things to work through it.
Massachusetts, eat, drink, and chill at the Sylvan St. Grille. They got me an Arnold Palmer. I'm already one down on the Arnold Palmers. I've already gone through the Buffalo Blast as well. They're not Blast. They're Buffalo, what are these things? Egg rolls? Okay. All right, well, maybe I'll just give a little peek of the potato skin for everybody that's just, watching on YouTube right now. Anyways, Brian Barrett's here. Hi, sir. He is from The Ringer. How you doing tonight? Oh, we got to pot him up there. There we go. How are you, Brian? I can't. Well, wait a second on that one. I'll give you a big, long intro. We'll do all that again. Oh, you can see if you're looking at the YouTube chat right now, you can see the big potato skin that I just popped in. But we'll bring Brian in. This is what I wanted to do real quick, Skaz. I know we had some audio that we wanted to play, just on a couple of Missoula stuff, because I know Brian's got the stats. Can we play Missoula on sticking together, Skaz? And Missoula again does seem to be the theme with this one was sticking together. Let's hear that one.
You said last night you've got to stick together, and Derek White had similar comments a couple of weeks ago about needing to stick together. Should we on the outside take that to mean you're having some issues sticking together and there needs to be a focus on that?
No, we're not having issues sticking together. I think just when you're at moments of, small adversities, you have to remind yourself to make sure that you do that, because it's easy to, go into a shell individually and, focus on yourself. And so, I think it's just a reminder that whether it's going good or bad, you have to handle those ebbs and flows of an NBA season together. So there's no issue there. It's just more of a reminder to make sure, we go about it together.
Going about it together. And let's give him the intro here. He is Brian Barrett. He is of The Ringer, and he's joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, live from the Sylvan St. Grille in Peabody. Brian, what do you think about the comments about sticking together?
Yeah, I just can't believe what transpired in Toronto last night. That was a complete embarrassment. And the sticking together thing, it's interesting that the coach would mention it, right? Because it's not like we've seen anything in terms of visible frustration between teammates, right? It's not like Jaylen's argued with Derek White or Drew's argued with Jason Tatum or Porzingis or whatever. It just seems like the team is playing poorly. So I do wonder, hearing that now, is that something that's sort of going on behind closed doors where guys are maybe aggravated with each other? It seems like the turning point to me where things really started to go south, which is kind of weird to say this, is when Porzingis came back into the lineup. They're getting outscored by more than 10 points per 100 possessions with their starting lineup, which was the best starting lineup in the NBA last year and one of the best starting lineups in the history of the league from a numbers perspective.
And, last night after the game, you heard, Chris, that was Porzingis. He was, he loved everyone's personality and loves the fact that, they're all high-character guys, but he's kind of hinting that they need to dig deep a little bit, while Tatum and Missoula are basically saying, we're just going to hang tight here.
Yeah, and
could he be the problem, I guess, is my point.
Porzingis, it's possible. I do feel like when he first came back, and Porzingis, let me be clear, like the last 5 games, he's one of the only players on the team that's trending upwards. He had, 18 and 10 last night. He had a bunch of 20 and 10 games over the past couple of weeks. But I do feel like when he came back to the lineup, they just started force-feeding Porzingis. And it does feel like it's almost better when 3 of the 5 starters are on the court, or 2 of the 5 starters are on the court. It feels like they play better that way. And I am interested to see sort of how they respond from this, because the last time they had any sort of adversity like this, I think you got to go back to the beginning of the Ime era, or the Ime year, I should say, where, what were they, a game under 500, like midway through January, and then they decided, hey, Ime is going to call everybody out, and then they figured it all out after that. But I think part of it, too, is just guys are playing poorly. Drew's way worse than he was last year. That's a wrong way to say it. Drew was awesome last year. Derek White, for 19 games, is shooting south of 40% from the floor and 32% from three-point territory. Jaylen's essentially, since he became a star in the league, is having his worst shooting season of his career. So all these guys are going south at the wrong time, or I guess not the wrong time. It'd be the worst in the playoffs. But the thing that sticks out to me about these guys, how bad is the defense? The defense, they got lit up by Toronto. Toronto's terrible. Right now they're trying to get Cooper Flagg, and they beat the Celtics because the Celtics had no resistance.
Wow. As I'm eating what is this, a potato skin? The Jaylen Brown stuff's interesting. Skaz, can you play Missoula and his thoughts on Jaylen Brown's play right now? Thank you. But I do think that Jaylen's playing, when he plays at the level that he can, they're the best team in the league. When he doesn't, there's something wrong with that team, man.
Yeah, and I think another interesting thing with Jaylen is obviously he's been terrible since he's come back from the injuries. 10 for his last 30 from the field. He's had more games this month with less than 16 points than more than 20 points. And the thing I wonder about with Jaylen, does he have too much going on?
Like, this is what Skaz kind of was bringing up.
So he has the Netflix show, right? Okay, I know Tatum had that last year. He's trying to launch, it's not just he's trying to launch a signature shoe. He's trying to launch his own brand, right? And then the other thing I would say, just in terms of the shooting, and this is just sort of a working theory, where Tatum struggled for a couple of years with his shooting when he put on weight. Now, Jaylen's always been jacked.
Were you listening to us on the way in?
I was not, sorry.
This is literally everything we know. You're making great points.
So, like, Jaylen was jacked the past few years, but he talked about the fact that he put on what? He said 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason, which when I saw him in the first games that they played against Denver, where I forget where they played at this point, but when they played those preseason games, look at the dude. Like, he's absolutely massive. And
he's yoked.
Sometimes his shot, too, like, he was one of the best 2-point pull-up shooters in the league last year. And he was shooting 49% on twos away from the rim. This year, that number's down to 41%, so it's a significant drop-off. Feels like the timing's off, too. A lot of times he's, like, shooting when he's going down. So I just feel like Jaylen's been inconsistent all season long. And quite frankly, if he wasn't wearing a Celtics uniform and they weren't the number 2 seed right now, we'll see how long they hang on to the 2 seed. If they weren't the 2 seed, I don't think he'd be an all-star. Because, like, he's had an incredibly inefficient season.
I agree with you. So we've been trying to find reasons that, effort is always an issue, right? But it was funny. I saw Grandy, and I was telling him, I'm like, hey, man, he thinks it's beyond effort, and I'm starting to agree with him. Something ain't right, Brian, in there. Let's hear Joe Mazzulla. He was on with Zoe and Beetle today, and he talked about what's going on with Jaylen Brown.
What's going on with Jaylen Brown right now? He doesn't appear to be playing his best basketball. Is everything okay with him?
Yeah, as far as I know, everything's okay with him. He's the kind of guy that I think, when it's not, he works really, really hard and puts a lot of pressure on himself to figure out all the little details. And, he's just the kind of guy that's very hard on himself. So, I think in situations like that, he can be super hard on himself and can just not be, effective at times. But, like after one of the games the other day, he was one of the first guys in the gym making sure that he was just, working on the mistakes that he made. So I think it's just more of just having a level of grace for himself, the way he works at it. And you just trust his process. So, he'll be fine.
Oh, trust the process. I don't want to hear that.
The 76ers back in the day.
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I feel like there's a weird dynamic, Joe. Like, so he wins the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and he wins the Finals MVP. I would have given Tatum the Finals MVP. He led the team in points, rebounds, and assists. Jaylen hit arguably the biggest shot of the series, that jumper from about the free throw line to put him up 4 in that Game 3, which basically sealed the Finals for the Celtics. And he covered Luka, so you give him credit there, but Tatum unlocked the defense covering the centers. I mean, that changed everything. But now it's almost like Jaylen appears that, or thinks he's on the same level as Tatum, and they're not really comparable as players. And if you look at Tatum, when he has a usage rate over 30%, the Celtics in the games that he plays, they're 17-3. When it's south of 30%, they're 9-8. So in most of those games, when Tatum doesn't have a usage rate north of 30%, who has a usage rate north of 30%? It's Jaylen Brown. So
I saw Greeny post this from Barstool.
Yeah, so it's
because people were complaining about, because he only had he had no points in the fourth quarter last night.
Yeah.
So usage. Explain usage. Explain it, because I know that Tatum touches the ball a lot.
Right.
But explain actually usage when it comes to Brown and Tatum.
Well, it's just like the percentage of the possessions that are ending in you shooting, you getting to the free throw line, or you turning the basketball over. So a couple of weeks ago, actually, Missoula was asked about this by Bobby Manning from CLNS Media, who I know you've had on the show a bunch. I've had him on my pod recently, and he kind of poo-pooed it. He's like, well, that doesn't account for like a hockey assist or something along those lines. It's like, sure, but when the numbers are that big, when there's that big of a gap when he shoots more, it's a totally different team. And that's why I think right now, when you look at how this squad is going, Drew's not playing well. Derek White's playing very poorly over his last 19 games. And Jaylen's not playing well. Pritchard got it back last night, and I would say, as I said, Porzingis is sort of on an uptick. Right now, Jason Tatum is the most efficient, high-volume isolation player in the league. He's 1.15 points per possession. So that means he's an elite offense when it's in isolation. The rest of these guys are like closer to 1.01, 1.05, and we're talking about the Kyries, the Anthony Edwards, those guys, the high-usage guys, the James Harden. So right now, considering how poorly it's going for this team, I would just have Tatum, you be at the controls full time, and you make all the decisions. Because right now, it doesn't look like anybody else is making the right decision on this team.
Okay, this brings up a couple of questions, which I do want to get into. He's Brian Barrett, and he knows all these stats off top of his head. He has no computer in front of him. He has not looked at his phone. He literally knew the usage rate just off the top of his head.
In fairness, I did record a pod like 2 hours ago on some of these topics.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like your test.
Yeah.
You already, you did it earlier, and now it's like you got all the answers. It's like Brady.
Yeah.
Said he has all the answers, I do want to get into a little bit more of this. Whatever's going on here is not right. Something isn't right. I'm not concerned, though. Because I was told on this station at times at night, we're not critical of the Celtics. Been told that a couple of times. And I just, I feel like we've been... Last night after the game, we looked into what Missoula said. We looked into what Porzingis said. Looked into what Tatum said. I didn't hear from Jaylen Brown. And by the way, the worst player last night was Jaylen Brown. And I know Derek White's been on the worst stretch of his life. Let's just call it what it is. But Jaylen Brown, I think, is what I'm most concerned about. So we'll get into that coming up here on the other side. Brian Barrett, he is of The Ringer. He's got his stats. You mentioned defense. We'll hear what Joe Missoula said about defense. We'll have that coming back on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray, live from the Sylvan St Grille here in Peabody.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
issue on defense that you may be concerned about a little bit?
I mean, I think there's a little bit of both, right? I think at times that's definitely the case. I think at times there's attention to detail. So I just think it's a little bit of everything. When you're on an inconsistent stretch like we are, it's not just one thing. So sometimes it's that, sometimes it's your attention to detail, sometimes it's your offense, sometimes it's your defense. But, you have to be able to string those things together, those habits, those disciplines, those details. You have to string those things together to play consistent basketball. And those are the things that are being tested.
His weekly interview with Zoe and Beetle. And normally it's like they talk about food and like he wants to fight people and, he talks about like we all should have these coins in life where we can like just use it whenever we want. So because the team's so good, it's hard to like, really be critical. I think this is the first time where Joe Mazzulla is actually facing a little adversity. Don't blame the players here for, like, they're entitled. And if you want to get on them for that, yes. Yeah, like, they think they can roll the balls out and beat anybody. But Mazzulla's, like, ramping it up. And I'm going to use fatigue a little bit here because they are pressing the three. I don't think threes are the problem. I do think, though, that increasing the threes, you can have fatigue, and I think we're seeing it, especially out of Derek White.
Yeah, with Derek White in particular, he shot the ball so well to start the season, and you start to think about Tatum, Jaylen, Derek White, and even Drew Holiday. These guys have played so much basketball over the past 3 to 4 years, right? Like, I wanted Drew Holiday to give up his spot in the Olympic team to Jaylen. Now, Jaylen's not playing well either because Drew's entering his 34-year-old season at that time. I thought there'd be some wear and tear, but Derek White's been a legitimate bad scoring option over the past 19 games. And the way that I look at it is if you look at when Tatum got that break, basically, 8 days? It was knee tendonitis or tendinotis, they labeled it as. But he got like 8 days off, right? And he came back and he looked a lot better. Jaylen, the first time he got a break and he came back, he looked a lot better. Not so much this time. And then same thing with Porzingis, where I thought Porzingis came back too early. Not that I'm a doctor, but it felt like he came back too early from that initial surgery. Because remember, like the timeline, he was like 2 weeks, I believe, ahead of schedule. And then after he got some time off, after he turned the ankle, whatever it was, he comes back, and now he's actually playing well. I think they should shut Derek White down for a week or two and just get him off his legs, because another thing that happened last night, and I do not blame Mazzulla for this, he ripped him off the court. Pritchard was getting the closing minutes. Pritchard played 31 minutes in that game. Derek White only played 21 minutes. Can you ever imagine before the season saying, hey, you know what, there's going to be a game where Pritchard plays 10 more minutes than Derek White because we need him in a close game? Not because, hey, we're up big and Derek White's already done his thing. No, like they took him out of the game because he wasn't playing well. And I do at times worry about sort of the confidence, because remember when he first came over, when Ime was the coach, remember that Miami series? He had like one good game, and after that he couldn't shoot. Same thing happened in the finals.
And the team kind of struggled.
Yeah, and it sort of like got in his head. So I think he just needs a week to like clear his mind and maybe get some rest for his legs as well. I mean, I'm the biggest fan of Derek White. Like earlier in the season, I'm like, oh, he's going to be the Celtics' third All-Star. He has no chance of making this now, but they got to get him right.
Explain the schedule to me. They've had time off. I mean, they've had their rest. That's why I bring up the increased three-point shots. Like, you're taking a lot of threes in practice, you're tired. Like, you know, it's and look, they're professional athletes, so I'm just trying to mention that this is something that has never been done before. There's never been a team that has shot this amount of threes. So I have no problem with them shooting the threes. I just think that maybe there has to be some expectation that there needs to be rest. And speaking of that, they're going with both Horford and Porzingis on Friday night against Orlando, which means that they may not have them against the Hawks.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm guessing that's a matchup thing. And because if you think about it, like the two big lineups have actually worked for them. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that defensively, they're getting blown by on the perimeter. Like one of the things that stuck out to me last night is in that Toronto game is there's two things that happened. First of all, they couldn't stop them from getting into the paint. They had 60 points in the paint. Nobody in the NBA scores more than 59, so that would be number one in the league. And they also gave up 12 corner threes. Nobody attempts 12 corner threes per game, and they hit 5. Nobody makes more than 5. So they literally got the best shots in the league. They had 60 points in the paint, and they had 12 corner three-point attempts. And they didn't hit a ton of threes, but they did hit 5 corner threes, and they hit a bunch of wide-open threes. And Mazzulla said after the game that they adjusted to the zone because they couldn't handle Toronto's cutting. I'm like, hold on. You couldn't handle the 23rd ranked offense in terms of what they were doing cutting? You just played the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. You held them to an offensive rating in the NBA Finals that would have been the worst in the league last season, worse than the Washington Wizards, worse than the Hornets, worse than all those teams. Because of your defense was awesome. Drew was awesome. Derek White was awesome. Jason Tatum took away their best play, which is the pick and roll with Luka and their bigs. And now you're telling me that, and I'm not saying it's wrong to do this, they had to adjust to a zone against Toronto. Like, that's embarrassing to me.
I saw that in the middle of the game.
It's embarrassing. And the other thing is this, like, what's going on? You have unbelievable defensive personnel. Have these guys just slipped? Now, Drew has never been the greatest with the smaller guards. He's actually better at guarding up. But what's going on with them defensively? It feels like it's an effort thing when you're giving up all these corner threes and all these drives to the basket. It's perplexing to me that they needed to adjust to Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, and whoever else they put on the floor last night.
I saw some defensive numbers that I wanted to go over a little bit here, but fourth quarters in general, like last night, that was embarrassing. I saw that. I remember looking at it like, wow, they're doing a like. I wonder if Toronto's ever seen a zone, ever seen a zone. But yeah, fourth quarters in their 12 losses this year, the offensive ratings 102, defensive ratings 130. That's not good.
It's horrible.
Not good.
Yeah, and a lot of those starts of the fourth quarters are the Jaylen on, Tatum off minutes. Not to pick on Jaylen here, but and not to say like
I've been on Jaylen all night.
All right.
No, but at this point though, like it's not we're picking on him. He is the reason Tatum's been so consistent that when Tatum plays to the level that he can, they're unbeatable.
Right.
And right now I think Washburn mentioned something about people don't fear the Celtics around the league. I don't agree with that. Now, have they gone into the Boston and beat them? Yes, but is there something about, like, Jaylen Brown? Because you'd figured he'd be the tough guy. Just on a nightly basis, Tatum's way more consistent than Brown.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And Jaylen, I mean, he was awesome. He's one of the main reasons they won the NBA championship last year, but he hasn't played up to his standard. The whole thing about fear is, like, I don't even know if that's a thing in the modern NBA where there's so much variance with the three-point shot, right? Like, okay, maybe in the 1980s, teams are like Jordan and the Bulls when they're coming up, like they're legitimately scared, and we saw Scottie Pippen check out of one of those games. I know he had some sort of migraine or something. I think that was what it was, but like the Pistons playing that physical, like driving to the lane and know you're going to get put on your back, okay, that's one thing, but it's like I don't really see teams fearing each other in the NBA in general, right? Like I don't really buy into that. And the other thing that I think is a crutch, and it was mentioned a little bit last night on the broadcast, I think Scal brought it up a couple of times, is like you're getting every team's best shot. I'm like, why is that like an excuse for them? Like, oh, okay, you have to play hard. And the Celtics don't have to play hard the whole entire game, but at this point, can we get like 80% of the game where we get like sort of full throttle effort? And that's the issue. I do think too, like what I thought at the beginning of the season was they were going to be like, remember when the Warriors won their first title and it was kind of a surprise, right? The previous 2 years they had been to the second round and the first round. So the next year, like we heard all this stuff about, hey, they didn't really play anyone in the playoffs. Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. Even Doc Rivers, who was with the Clippers at the time, said like they didn't have to play us. It's like, all right, guys, you've done nothing as the Clippers. But then they have the best season ever with the 73 wins. It was like their FU tour. With the Celtics, I thought we may see some of that because of the criticism they played based on all the injuries that the other teams had. But I really feel like they're more of a normal champion, where the second Durant team, they were 9 games worse the following season. The Nuggets went from the 1 seed to the 2 seed, and they were like 5-6 games worse last season. That's ordinarily how it goes. But right now, like it's gotten to the point where you got to put an end to it. Like I want to see like a 4 or 5 game stance here where they look like the best team in the NBA.
I thought it was that Western road trip. They did have that bad loss there, but I thought it was that. I thought it was that road trip. I did. Let's go to the calls here at 617-779-0985. You seen a call screener like this before?
I haven't.
All right. Well, this is Mike. He is in Holden. Hello, Mike.
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing tonight?
How you doing?
So I'm all right. Murray, you drive me a little nuts here. You continue to say the threes aren't the issue, but then you said last night they were pressing the threes, okay? The problem is every time...
Let me just...
Go ahead, clarify, Joe, please.
I said they're doing something that has never, ever been done in the NBA before. So you have to at least think that the increased number of threes we should at least expect some fatigue.
From shooting threes?
Bro, they shoot 60 a game.
Well,
it's unprecedented.
Here's my point.
Brian Barrett, has it ever happened before in the league?
No,
ever.
highest
In the
volume
history of the league, has anybody ever shot this many threes?
Highest volume team ever.
So you think that shooting threes is an easy act?
Joe, do you think it's a lot harder to take the ball to the hoop and get an in-one?
Did you ever play basketball in your life? No, I'm going at you right now. You played basketball, right? You played basketball?
Yes.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that shooting doesn't... you don't get tired shooting a basketball?
Murray, do you get tired trying to get to the hoop? What expends more energy?
I get tired easily these days doing anything.
Joe, listen to me. What takes more energy, shooting a wide-open corner three or trying to dribble the ball, isolate, get to the hoop, and play through contact and get an and-one? Okay? So this is the problem.
Have you noticed the increased twos, or should I just shut up?
Should I shut up? Because, Joe,
shut up?
Listen.
So you're going to tell me about basketball. You're going to tell me about basketball.
Joe, I will talk circles around you when it comes to hoops. Trust me.
So anyway. Okay, you want to talk circle? Let's do it. Right, so the Celtics. Hang on. Let's do it. And by the way, because I don't know, did you play? I don't know, because I didn't play at the college level.
Joe,
by the way, Catholic Suburban League champions 2000. I'll have to bring that up for you. What's that, bro?
I can hoop, but go ahead.
No, you can hoop, but. Bro, I would smoke you in the post first off. By the way, I'm 400 pounds now, so I probably can't. I'm under 400 now, by the way. I was over.
I'm pushing 50, and I would freaking school you. It wouldn't even be close. I'm 6'2". I'm 200 pounds. I'm athletic. I would kill you,
bro,
Joe.
We could do this game of who's better or not. I would still bet on me, but that's fine. But I will tell you right now, though, you're trying to say that shooting more threes doesn't make you tired, and I think
Joe,
that's crap.
So what's harder, to continuously shoot 53s a game?
Yeah. Your point is, yes, your point is that it's harder to go to the paint. So they're going to the paint more and they suck more. What's your point? What's your point? They're going to the paint and they suck. I'm sorry for yelling.
You don't have to apologize to me.
Am I wrong on this? They're shooting too many threes. Okay, so now they're shooting more twos and they suck.
Yeah, I think in general the team is fatigued right now.
The guy wants to take me down. You
want to play one-on-one?
What's the closest Parker out here? You're from Peabody, right?
Yeah. You want to play outside?
That guy's so tough.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say you could just go to the Y. Play a little one-on-one there.
I haven't played ball in years, but I'll tell you this much: I can knock down those threes.
Yeah, I like it. I mean,
and I definitely know I can take them in the post.
It's rare that you have somebody call up and want to challenge somebody to a one-on-one game.
No, but my whole point is, his point is it harder to dribble the basketball and go in the paint where other people are? Or is it easier to shoot wide open threes? The answer is to shoot the threes.
Yeah, and especially the pace that the Celtics play at. There's certain guys that on this team that get downhill and get into the lane, but the problem is, this team has been orchestrated to generate as many three-point shots as they possibly can, right? And then when you have to get downhill, it's only a couple of guys on the team that can do it, right? You don't want Derek White constantly driving to the basket. You don't want Drew Holiday constantly driving to the basket. Drew's not a guy that blows by you anyway. The only two guys you really want doing that, or three really, Tatum, Jaylen, and then I would throw Pritchard into that category because he does an outstanding job driving. But when the entire team has now gone in over the past, since the loss to Memphis, I believe they're 23rd in three-point percentage. What does it tell you? They're getting quality looks. It's not like they're forcing them. They're just not knocking them down. So I think fatigue is one explanation, because it's either fatigue or injury, because are Derek White and Drew Holiday, are these guys bad three-point shooters? Al Horford, are they bad three-point shooters? I don't think so. So, I think fatigue would be an explanation for sure.
Thank you. No, if I'm wrong, just say, Joe, you're an idiot.
No, I think you can get tired both ways, but it would make sense that all these guys' numbers have gone down during this 9-8 streak, that it makes sense that they're fatigued. And if you look at all their numbers from last year, with the exception of Pritchard, really, every single guy on the Celtics is shooting worse from three-point territory this year than they were last year. Pritchard's the only difference.
And the two-pointers have gone up.
Yeah.
And how's that working out for the team?
Not great.
So is it easier for this team for two-pointers or three-pointers?
It's
what's better for their philosophy?
Oh, better. Better for them to take threes. That's how they won the championship. That's how they won an NBA championship with shooting threes.
That's why I was yelling.
Yeah. No, I understand why you were upset. I mean, I thought you were getting fired up for the game, too, the one-on-one game.
Well, listen, I'm not much of a one-on-one player, but if you want to just toss me the ball in the post.
Back him down.
There's no way.
He said he was.
And listen,
we didn't get a height and weight on him though. We just got age.
I'm not the athlete that I once was. I am not, because again, I've gained 100 pounds probably since, again, my Catholic Suburban League days where we won the championship. And I won't have to flex on that again tonight because I won't do that.
What school was it?
Trinity Catholic.
Nice.
Back in the day, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever. Doesn't matter.
A win's a win, man. You still got the hardware.
I cut down that damn net. Bird won a Super Bowl before with Everett. Dude. That was a good one right there. Anyways, all right, glory days. Sorry, 50-year-old man wanted to run circles around me, and it got me motivated again.
Yeah. Well, I guess unless
maybe want to do the Rocky, the beach. No, the beach scene, Bird. You and I, then we'll jump in the water and hug each other. How about you, Skaz? You ready? Did that fire you up? You want to take some threes, or is it easier for you to shoot threes, Skaz, or go to the paint?
Oh, Joe, that was wildly entertaining from back here. I'll say that. Every segment, for our viewers on YouTube, Joe is just inching closer and closer to the camera. Every segment, and he was getting very close during that phone call.
Oh God!
I think now you got to set this game up at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm retired. I know I could still stroke it though.
The Sports Hub has had basketball injuries in the past.
Yeah.
And we've had members of the Sports Hub go down during charity basketball games.
I was 6'3", 313 pounds my senior year of high school.
So you were an interior presence.
I was definitely an interior presence.
I was about 5'10", 145.
Yeah. Peabody, where'd you go? Peabody High?
Fenwick.
Oh, yuck. So we would play each other.
Yeah.
Your school's a little bigger than mine.
Yeah, we played Trinity.
Yeah. You guys had a nice, decent program. Good football team.
Yeah, I was okay at hoops. Not great. We had we made the tournament my senior year.
Do you still play?
Not really. I did in college a bit. Played pickup. We played pickup, and I played in on a intramural team, but not much lately.
So my buddy's kid, I know. Here we go. Glory days. My buddy's kid, great player. I forget what school he plays at. So he's like, let's play one. I up fake him every single time. He falls for it every single time.
It's like the Jimmy Butler against the Celtics.
Every single time. I get the ball, up fake it, he jumps in the air, and I just dribble and do a layup.
Easy enough.
That's easy. What was that last caller's name?
No idea.
We got to go to break.
I think he just showed up.
Here he is.
Some guy showed up with a gym bag of basketball.
Let's go. Maybe we can make our own hoop here. Like a Papa Shot?
Yeah, back in the day, there used to be one way back there.
By the way, there is a Papa Shot contest that happens at the Sports Hub every year. I am not eligible to play because I host it.
I love Papa Shot. Great game.
The winner gets a half-court shot, and a chance of $50,000.
For a half-court shot, $50,000?
Yeah, you got to win the whole Papa Shot contest first.
Then you get... So do you win anything for winning the Papa Shot or just the right to win $50,000?
The right. You might get tickets to the
pride
game or something.
The pride.
I'm going to learn more on that one. All right, we got to go to the headlines here. I'm late. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, well, we don't have much going on tonight. There's no Bruins. There's no Celtics. Celtics take on Orlando tomorrow, while the Bruins tomorrow, that's Saturday against Ottawa. No, I'm not sure if Linus Ullmark's going to play, though. You know, we work with professional athletes. We can't be talking about our glory days.
That's true.
Like, I can't.
I didn't really have glory days, so.
Yeah. Not going to, like, you know, pull the, you know, 3-time captain, play football, basketball. Like, I can't do that. It doesn't work especially when you don't go to the next level.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's hard to brag about your skills. But we get people who do that all the time, right? Like, I play hockey at hockey. I just had someone who said they wanted to challenge me in the parking lot to hockey and bring in their hockey stuff, which I'm down with, by the way. If someone wants to put on some goalie gear, I will fire shots. I don't know if I'll score. I had this problem growing up where I was a lefty. I'm throw right-hander, but I did everything lefty because
Interesting.
But they didn't have lefty stuff, so I had to use righty golf clubs and, like, bat righty at times because I...
Wait, how old are you? They didn't have
when
lefty
I was a kid.
stuff?
Yeah, I'm 42,
Really?
man. So, I mean, you know...
That's crazy.
Back in the 90s.
My brother's one of my brothers is a lefty golfer.
So if I don't have... I actually, believe it or not, I don't... They might be at my mom's. I don't even know. Back home. But I have a golf bag with righty and lefty clubs.
Wow.
So I'm like literally Rodney Dangerfield. Like you know, I pulled like, all right, I'm gonna use the 5-iron righty on this one, but I'm gonna use the 3-iron lefty here, and I always putt left-handed.
Really? So instead of like a switch hitter in baseball, you're like a switch golfer.
Yeah. And
never heard of it.
And
before.
honest to God, I don't know which one's better. I just can do both.
Yeah.
And when we were kids, when we played wiffle ball, we used to bat one time right-handed, then the next at bat left-handed.
Yeah, I was never good at switch hitting. I could only hit righty. Like even wiffle ball, when everybody would like turn around and hit lefty, I couldn't do it. I could only hit right-handed.
Well, we went on a tangent, so let's talk to Bob in Millbury. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Joe. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I love your show. But, guy, your show is like 30% food and 70% sports. Excuse me.
What's the rest
you
of
were
it?
just talking about? What that?
You said 30% food and 30% sports, so what's the other 40%?
What do you mean? 30 and 70 is 100, right?
Oh, I thought you said 30 and 30.
No, 30 and 70.
Okay, what do you prefer? Do you want 100% sports?
No. Well, no, I'm not. No, I'm just. Long story short, this guy that just called you about the hoops.
Yeah.
Dude, he would do a spin move, go around you, take the ball, and then blow by you and dunk it. You know, I love you.
How do you know that? How do you know? Yeah, but how do you know that? Why?
Yeah, you just. I never saw a picture of you until I just looked it up.
So you're assuming that someone can do that to me?
Somebody's 400 pounds? No, I'm a big guy too.
No, bro. I'm like, Brian. You see me, right?
I see you.
Do you think like I'm like this like fat guy? Like I'm a fat guy. I like to eat. But do you think I'm like a tub of lard that can't move?
I think you could shuffle your feet on D.
No.
And also, we don't know what the opponent looks like.
Yeah.
We also don't.
How do I know what that guy looks like?
He said he was pushing 60, so I mean, we don't know what his athletic credibility is either.
But like Bob, you're calling me like I can't do work, bro.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you're telling this guy, hey, I'll back you down and I'll do this and do that.
I will.
All right, man.
All right, well, John is in Lynn. Hey, John.
Joe, I think you would body that guy and the guy that called before him, all right?
I agree.
Anyway,
I don't want to act like a tough guy, but like everyone thinks they're like the greatest in the world. And it's like, hey, man, like,
that's crazy, right?
I can hold my own over here.
No, I know, man. So the Celtics being fatigued, like you were talking about, you got to realize every team in the league is giving them their best shot every night, as returning champs. You know what I mean? That'll wear any team out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. Should we take him down to Manning Bowl and see what we can do?
Listen, when I played football for Everett High School in '97, that's what we'd do.
Well, Bird's here. Do you know Marchant? What?
I know Bird. I went to school with Bird.
What's your name?
Fitzy. Tell him to say Fitzy.
Fitzy from Everett's here, Bird. I don't know. Which Fitzy are you? There's a million Fitzies in the world.
John.
He's John Fitzy.
Okay. I think I graduated with you, or you're the older brother of Jason. Do you have a Jason
Hey.
Fitz?
Is there a Jason
my
Fitz?
brother, dude.
Okay. Yeah, I think I went to high school. Dude. I think I went to high school.
Thanks for bringing it around, Bird.
All right.
Thanks, Bird.
Yep.
Ray's in Cumberland. Hey, Ray.
What up, Big Joe Murray? How you doing, my friend?
How you doing?
Heard Tommy from Lynn's in the house tonight supporting
Tommy
you.
from Lynn is right here.
Nice. I got a stat I wanted to run by you and Scaz, my Celtics guys. Joe, Porzingis is only +3 on the season. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that, why it's so low. You know what I mean?
I don't think he sucked this year. I think he's been good, Brian.
I think when he first came back, he was rusty. The reason that number is like that is when he plays with the starting five, they've been awful. Last night, that group was awful together. It's one of the most bizarre developments in the NBA that the Celtics starting five has been one of the worst units in the league.
How many Fitzies do you know?
2, maybe?
Yeah.
I think I know 2.
Yeah, it's just like, when the guy's like, hey, I'm Fitzy and I'm from Everett. How many Fitzies from Everett are there?
Yeah.
Like, do you know there's 5 Joe Murrays in my neighborhood growing up?
Really? I know a lot, some Smitties,
A lot of Smitties.
A lot of Smitties.
A lot of Hurleys, too. There's a lot of Hurleys around. Not a lot of Barretts, though. R.J. Barrett.
Yeah. Distant relative. Third cousin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Basketball player.
Yep.
It runs in the blood,
Yep.
It's just.
He kills the Celtics, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You mentioned something. I like double bigs. I think Horford's also a part of what's missing a little bit with the team.
Yeah, Horford and Porzingis played really well together last year. I mean, not as much this year, but all the 2 big lineups that they use, like Porzingis and Horford or Cornette and Horford, which shockingly, like all those lineups have been effective. Like all the net ratings are in the positive with those guys on the court. I think part of it is just added rim protection because they've done a poor job in terms of stopping ball handlers. Right? One of the big issues for this team all season long has been these small guards. Like John Morant lights him up. Zach LaVine lights him up. Donovan Mitchell.
Christmas Day, right?
Yeah, Maxey lights him up. They really have an issue with these small, quicker, shiftier guards.
All right. Well, we usually do in or out at this time. So, Scaz, what we'll do is we'll take a call, we'll break, and then we'll do in or out. How's that sound? You're going to get in on this one. So, should we take fundamentals or should we take golf clubs?
Ooh, golf club seems intriguing.
David is on the Mass Pike. Hey, David.
What's going on, Joe? How we doing?
How you doing?
I wanted to, so 2 things. I want to talk about Pritchard, but I first wanted to start with those golf clubs, right? So you were saying, like, in the 90s, there's no way to find lefty clubs when you're a kid. Like, it's close to impossible, and I can vouch for that. I am a lefty. I'm 31. I started playing golf when I was 5. I'm a scratch right now. No, besides the fact. But
that's a flex.
When I was
that was a flex right there.
It's a small flex.
But if like somebody like okay, you're good at golf, I'm going to take your word for it. No, you said you're a scratch. You're a scratch golfer. I'm going to take your word for it. You're better than me at golf. I surrender.
Scratch, yeah.
Besides the point. That's not even the point, but besides the point. When I was a kid, because there were no kids lefty golf clubs, my dad had to cut down a men's lefty set, re-grip them, and just give me some random steel shaft as a lefty.
Yep.
In a kid's size. Because, if you didn't want to become a righty and me just being stubborn as hell as a little kid, I wanted to be that lefty because I was in T-ball as a left-handed kid and I pitched as a left-handed kid. I wanted to be a lefty.
Do you throw lefty?
Yeah, what's that?
Do you throw? Are you a southpaw?
I'm a southpaw, yeah. I write righty, but everything else is southpaw.
Wow, that's an interesting one there.
So, but again, I mean, I can vouch for it. I mean, lefty equipment, especially in golf, did not exist. So they had to cut down a whole men's set, and I just learned that way. So that was the first thing I just wanted to say. You're absolutely, completely, 100% right. If you were a lefty as a kid, you either learned righty or maybe you had you had someone who was able to cut down a men's lefty set. That's just, I'm getting that out of the way.
Thanks, David. And I know you had a take on Pritchard, but I'm up against it.
Yeah, well, it's smart too that he decided to write righty? Because I feel like if you write lefty, you'd smudge a lot, right? Like, because the paper is built for a righty.
Well, lefty southpaws, throwers, there's like a natural slider going on. And so, I was a lefty batter, so I always used to see the ball come this way. But whenever I would see a righty, the ball was bigger for some reason.
Yeah. Well, that's why you see all these reverse split. I mean, all these splits where, Rafael Devers for his whole career has not hit lefties well. He absolutely clobbers righties. It'd be nice if he hit lefties, too. Just saying.
And he's a right-handed thrower, right?
Yes.
See, I think that's the key. Because when you're a right-handed, you're back, your arm is going forward.
Yeah.
But here it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your strong arm is your right. Anyways.
He couldn't make it to Fenway Fest, though.
Not a lot of people could. Were you there?
No, I wasn't there, but
I would like to talk about that. All right. Mr. Hurley, nice to meet you, sir. All right. Well, we got In or Out coming up next. That should be fun with Skaz here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
on there. A lot of guys are injured. They'll play in Ottawa. Still waiting on some football matchups this weekend. Joe Mixon questionable for the Texans when they take on the Chiefs. Kellen Moore will interview with the Dallas Cowboys. And while Pete Alonso of the Mets, formerly of the Mets, he rejected big-time contracts with the Mets. Wonder if the Red Sox could be interested. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. In or out? Next.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Brian Barrett's here from The Ringer. He lives in Peabody. We are at the Sylvan St. Grille in Peabody.
Eat, drink, and chill.
That's the slogan. A couple of Arnold Palmers. Tyler's still here. Tommy from Lynn's here, everybody. Maybe people want to know what you look like. Wait a little bit for that, though. We'll do that in a little bit. Marshall Hook came by. Old colleague, my old teacher, by the way.
Really?
When I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, my teacher was Marshall Hook.
Wow. He looked put together, man. He looked like he was ready to deal some business.
He looked good, didn't he?
Yeah.
So Marshall's now a selectman of Topsfield. He's in politics now.
Wow.
And he looks great. I got to tell you, he
looks like a politician. I'll say that.
I thought he looked like John Cena's dad first.
How do you know what John Cena's dad looks
like? I know Mr. Cena very well.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. That wasn't a flex. I don't know John, though. I only know Mr. Cena.
Oh, you get an in.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I might have an in, but not him. Well, actually, yeah, I might. Who knows? Anyways, we have in or out, Skaz. And someone has tweeted me, a man named Elvis, tonight's show is a disaster. I'm out. Good luck. Well, that's great. One less person, more in or out. What do we got tonight, Skaz?
All right, gentlemen, we'll start with some very big news in the world of wrestling today. This is something that means very little to me, Joe, but I'm sure you can give us some insight on this. The WWE and TNA Wrestling announced a multi-year partnership. Are we in or out?
Oh, I'm in on cross-promotion. Now, could we get like a Dolph Ziggler? Like, can we get someone that was in WWE that's now in TNA and then do a crossover?
I'm lost on this one, Joe.
Oh, you're not a wrestling guy?
Not the
I don't know why. I thought he was a wrestling guy.
No, not the biggest
Oh, my God. I looked at you like I was like waiting for you to take. I'm in.
I was going to make a joke there, but I didn't. I was going to say. No, I won't say it.
I'm in, but here's the deal. So there's different promotions. Well, TNA is kind of like there's like AEW, and then there's... But I like the cross-promotion because if guys aren't getting airtime, maybe they can get it on another level, which is then puts them over, you know? It's kind of like when you send someone to Maine.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I will say this. I watched the Netflix doc on Vince.
Oh, yeah.
That was very interesting. So crazy that, like, midway through all the stuff comes out, and it's like...
And then he stopped showing up.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't like about it. But he actually, this week, all the hush money stuff got cleared.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's good.
Saw
like,
that.
Yeah, yes.
Well,
we're cleared. Like, no, dude, you just settled it.
And, like, I watched it when I was a kid, but one of the things that interested me the most is, like, the Shane-Stephanie dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, who was going to get the company. Like, that was crazy to me. And here comes Triple H and gets everything pretty much.
Yeah. All right, guys, what else we got? Oh, but I'm in on that, by the way.
All right, we'll head to the world of fast food for this one, an often place for us to go during In-N-Out. But the NFL has recently opened a San Francisco's 49ers-themed KFC restaurant in Mexico with hopes to open more NFL-themed KFC restaurants. Are we in or out on sports team-themed restaurants?
That's a good one. I think I'm out.
You're out on the sports...
No, what I mean by sports themed is like, I like it if you're in a city and it's like, this is a Red Sox bar.
Right,
This
yes.
is a Patriots bar. I like that. but a bar like a KFC made of like the Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm out on that too. It just, especially considering it's already an established chain. If it was something like somebody within the Chiefs made, like, okay, I'd be in on that. But I am with you on those the certain team bars, like when you can find like a Syracuse bar if you're me, like something like that. If you're a UConn fan, well, I don't like UConn, but if you're a UConn fan, find a UConn bar. Like, that's
you're
pretty
not a
cool.
UConn guy, huh?
No, I don't like UConn.
Tim McCone's big UConn guy.
Well, I mean, they were rivals. Now my team just stinks, so it doesn't really matter. But
wait, what's your team?
Syracuse. We stink.
You went to Syracuse?
Yeah, we stink.
How come I didn't know that?
I mean, we're better. We're a football school now. We beat Miami. We knocked them out of the playoff.
You sound like Scal right now.
Yeah, I wish I was on the. I was calling plays there.
But by the way, I watched the Syracuse BC basketball game the other day.
I was there. I was in the building.
BC blew it.
Yes, they
had
did.
A big lead. What the hell happened there?
Yeah, you know what? One thing about BC, I'll say this: they have incredible soft pretzels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's such a strange thing.
Is there any dipping, like cheese?
No,
Are you a mustard guy or plain?
I'll do like mustard, like if it's a sweet mustard. I don't like the regular, like just like yellow mustard. But I remember this like from years ago, and I told my brother this. My brother came to the game, and he was like telling me, "There's no way these pretzels are that good." And then he took a bite. He's like. So then he just started laughing. He's like, dude, you're actually right.
County Forum pretzels in?
BC's known for its pretzels, not its education.
Bird,
or its,
you ever done a game at BC County Forum? Basketball. Brian Barrett's saying that he can confirm that they have good pretzels. All right, he said yes,
elite.
too.
They're elite soft pretzels. Great. That place is no bad seat either.
So out on the theme bars. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, we'll stay in the world of fast food. Pizza Hut is releasing Kit Kat stuffed dough called Handy Melts. It is. It looks like a folded piece of pizza, pretty much, just dough with literal just Kit Kat stuffed inside. Are we in or out?
Okay, so it's bread with candy in it.
There's a picture in Slack if you need a reference.
Okay, I need. I like to see it first. Oh, that's Mario Kart. What do you think, Brian? It's called Handy Melt. Oh, yep. Yeah, you can look at this too, Tyler.
That's like chocolate inside dough, right?
That's
actual.
That's what Scott said.
Yeah,
yes.
that's like it. But like seeing it, like that's actual dough.
It almost looks.
I would not touch that thing.
It almost looks like a Kit Kat wrapped, like in a wrap.
Yes.
So, like, instead of getting like a sausage, egg, and cheese wrap, you're going to get a wrap filled with Kit Kats. I don't like to mix my bread with my candy.
So you guys
I don't think
would
anybody does.
You guys would be out on like a chocolate croissant then.
Oh, I love chocolate croissants.
I'm kind of thinking that's what they're going for with this, but it doesn't look anything like a chocolate croissant.
Oh, I love a chocolate croissant. What was the thing that Kendra brought last night? They were called Borats or something?
Yeah, bakes or they were Turkish
whatever.
Turkish desserts, yes.
Whatever they were. Oh, you stick some chocolate in there, I'm in. I just don't, I feel like bread and chocolate should be separated, though.
Yeah, but that threw me for a loop, what Skaz said about the croissant. So maybe this isn't as bad as I think it looks.
What's the white stuff? Is that whipped cream?
Now you're getting crazy, Joe. I have no idea what that is.
If there is like a whipped cream or like
I think it's mayo.
Out.
No, just kidding. Mayo and chocolate.
You know what? I'm undetermined. That's one I got to try, Skaz. So I am technically not in or out.
All right.
I'm out.
Sticking with food and snacks, Reese's is releasing their own peanut butter filled pretzels with the Reese's peanut butter on the inside. I imagine this is an easy one.
Absolutely in.
Yeah, 100%. Pretzels are my favorite snack.
So you bite into a pretzel, and it is a Reese's peanut butter cup.
No chocolate, just the Reese's peanut butter.
In. Ooh, no chocolate, though, huh? What if I dipped that would be me going the extra mile. Huh.
But I like pretzels with peanut butter, so if now you're adding the Reese's component,
right about that.
like
you can kind of discount the chocolate when it comes to that.
Yeah, like you get those, they're tiny, right? And they have the peanut butter inside. If you just swap out regular peanut butter for Reese's, I mean, now we're cooking with gasoline here.
I'm in.
All right, we will head to the world of TikTok for this one. Big news coming up this weekend. We have discussed it a little bit on the show, but no real takes. Gentlemen, are you in or out on TikTok potentially being shut down this weekend?
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I don't buy it either, so I haven't completely read into what happened. Why is it getting shut down?
Oh, God, Skaz.
Is it something political?
Yes, I think so. It's something. I think it's where the money's going, how it's monetized, and yeah, something political. But yeah, I'm not a big believer it's going to get shut down either.
I use TikTok. I am not a TikToker. I post my content on TikTok.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not like, I'm at, it's out here and it's raining and the water's falling fast.
Yeah, I'm not a huge TikTok guy either, but I would say that I'm out that it's actually going to close. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I'm a scroller. I like to scroll. You a scroller?
I do that on IG.
Oh, you're okay. So you're an Instagram scroll. Whoa, the table almost scrolled.
Yeah.
So you're an Instagram scroller.
Yeah.
See, yeah. Okay.
Isn't it crazy how they pick up your algorithm like right away?
You know what's funny? One day I talked about lemonade iced tea. Talked about it. The next thing that happened, an ad for a lemonade iced tea.
They're in your phones, man. They're in your phones. That's wild.
All right,
I'm out that it's gone though.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not a topic we usually broach on In or Out, but the MLS. Some big news out of the MLS earlier today, and that is that Chicago Fire owner is in Saudi Arabia in talks with Neymar to potentially join the Chicago Fire. Are we in or out on Neymar to the MLS?
Absolutely in.
Yeah, I'm in. Why not? As many big stars that can't come here, let's do it.
I mean, here's the deal. I don't care if he's better than everybody else. Messi was too. They would beat everybody, and I still watched. If you bring Neymar, this is like Mike Tyson at 60 years old fighting. It's like it's the draw. It's Neymar. Like, when am I going to ever see Neymar? Like, unless I'm watching the World Cup, I'm not really kicking around Brazilian soccer. Even though I love to bet on it.
Yeah, it's so good for the league. Not only I don't know how well they do from a television stand. I know they got a deal with one of the streaming networks, right? But if you're a fan of the Revolution and Neymar is coming to town, you may be like, hey, I'm actually going to go to that game. So it helps the road opponents almost as much as it helps the home opponents.
Gaz went to the Messi game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be there if Neymar showed up too. And that Messi game was, probably easily their biggest sellout of the year.
Is Messi playing again this year for Miami?
Yes, he will. There's a rumor he might be loaned back to Barcelona for the summer. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I believe he will be back in MLS next year.
So could we get a Miami versus Chicago, Messi versus Neymar?
I'm sure that would be the first thing they tried to do.
I'm telling you right now, that's what they need. Obviously pro football and basketball, most common sports here. If you could get matchups like that, everybody would watch. Just two stars and a bunch of everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. I would watch it. I remember they've come so far, that league. Do you remember when they first started the MLS shootout, where they put the ball? It was 35 yards away.
It was like a hockey shootout, basically.
Yeah, it was wild. And I remember growing up, we played this tournament called the Linfield Cup, and they had us do it as kids. Yep. We were 10 years or 12 years old. It's the first time you played in the big field. Nobody could score. The thing went 12 rounds. The MLS players having trouble scoring on those ones. That was one of the most bizarre things. It's almost like the XFL. Remember that, where they had the ball in the middle of the field and you had to run and get it? Instead of a coin toss, these guys just had an all-out collision.
I'm in on that, though.
All right, well, we'll head to the world of movies for this one. Now that everything is being remade, we got 2 new remakes on the way. We are getting a new Gremlins movie and a new Goonies movie. Are we in or out?
So I feel like Gremlins can be remade because I was a kid and I loved Gizmo. And it might have been a Christmas movie. I don't know how that could be, controversial there. But I could use another Gremlins. I don't know if I could use another Goonies.
I'd be in on another Gremlins. With Goonies, I just worry about some of these movies that have been remade and they're not as good. Mm-hmm. And I know the footage isn't as good, but
Ghostbusters, the new ones.
Yeah, can you get Brody back? Can he have a role in this one?
Ooh.
He was the big brother, wasn't he?
Yeah. Is there another? Hey, you guys.
Yeah. Where do you find that guy?
Where's Chunk?
Yeah. Where's Yeah.
Is Chunk even fat?
Yeah, how do you
Is he
decide?
alive still?
I mean,
Oh,
he's
no.
got to be alive.
Oh, no.
He's going to be alive. I hope, now that I said that.
By the way, we
the villain was so awesome. Like, the woman.
Oh, she was great.
She was unbelievable. I think she should have won an Oscar for that, did she?
I don't know, but opening scene.
I say
though,
that facetiously.
Opening scene, guy breaks out of jail, gets in the car, and she's she's the evil one. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
She's hilarious.
You can't remake that movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Goonies, you can't remake.
That movie's awesome. Remember when they tie Brody up like with his like exercise equipment?
Yes.
They tie him to the chair.
Gremlins, I love. What I love about Gremlins is Gizmo just starts driving a car and doesn't know where he's going. I feel like you can recreate a Gremlins. I don't think you can recreate Goonies.
It'd be tough.
Jeff Cohen, who played Chunks in the Goonies, is 50 years old and is currently an American attorney in Los Angeles.
Yes, Truffle Shuffle.
Well, Data won an Oscar, didn't he, recently? Like 2 years ago? That guy that played Data?
Yes.
Data, whatever they called him.
All right, we will end with this one tonight. 'Cause this one got a little reaction out of Joe Murray in the Slack earlier today. But that is that Bill Burr, Kieran Culkin, and Bob Odenkirk will be doing a Glenn Ross Broadway show. Are we in or out?
Absolutely in. I love Glenn Ross. I was a salesperson. I worked in sales my whole life. I have watched plenty of sales motivated things, and Glenn Ross. You know, you want the good leads, here are the good leads, that kind of stuff. Alec Baldwin, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. Anyways, and I think Bob Odenkirk would be awesome at Broadway. He had a cameo in The Bear.
Yeah, he is good in anything. Like, I remember I was recently watching, obviously, Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, all that.
Love that.
Love those two shows. I was watching an old Curb, and he was in one of the first.
Bob was in it?
Yes,
Holy
he is.
smokes.
He's Gil, and he is he's an actor in it, but not like a traditional actor. He's a adult actor.
Oh.
Yeah. He was up for Michael Scott, too.
Michael Scott, huh? I don't think that could only have been one man. Steve Carell. Don't feel like anybody else could do that.
Odenkirk's a legend.
I love Better Call Saul. I think Better Call Saul was better than Breaking Bad. Hot take.
All right, we have to end with this one. I thought that was going to be the last one, but Big Jim Murray 1 minute ago on Twitter just tweeted, "I just grabbed my chest like Red Fox," in reference to Wendy's releasing a new Thin Mint Frosty. Are we in or out on a Wendy's Girl Scout cookie Thin Mints Frosty?
Oh my God, I love Frosties. I love Girl Scout cookies. I'm in. I haven't even seen it yet.
I'm not a huge Frosty guy, but that's like that Girl Scout.
Oh my God,
flavors.
look at that thing.
Now, do you freeze the Thin Mints, Joe?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know I got Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies the other day? I ate them. I actually ate a sleeve very fast.
Well, they're not filling at all.
Look at this bad boy. Okay, all right. I'm going to give you a visual. Tyler, here you go. Here's a visual. It's kind of like a Shamrock Shake of ice cream.
Yeah.
In a cup with in the Thin Mints are on the outside, so I don't think you'll get cookies too. But I'm in on this one. And here's the deal. Wendy's I really only go to when it's late night. I'm a late, like the one on 114 whatever up here, whatever it is, Route 1.
Yeah, I'm not a huge
RPS?
I'm not a huge fast food guy, but like back in the day, like Wendy's was the number one option for me and all my buddies. But I will say this is like unbelievable branding. You have the Girl Scouts pairing up with Wendy's. Like it just
How does that miss? That's probably what they did.
Yeah, it makes too much
It's
sense.
Wendy's, it's Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, like BK was trying to do it. They're like, it doesn't work with the King. The King can't pull this off. The Arch,
Ronald, no.
Ronald can't do it. Who do we call here? Sonic? No. Hey, Wendy, you in? Yeah, I'm in. Wendy's like, oh, this is perfect.
Dude, honest to God, though, imagine if it was like you can get a new Wendy's Mint Frosty Girl Scout cookie, and would you like to donate to the Girl Scouts, and then they give you a box?
Boom. I mean, this is perfect.
Because you ever go out and like the Girl Scouts are out there, and it's like I feel bad. I don't want to say no to them. So I could never have a female daughter because I give in to everything.
Well, this is going to sound bad because I'm not a huge cookie guy. I mean, occasionally I like.
But when the Girl Scouts are outside, what do you do?
So, well, here's what I did the other day. I checked out of the local grocery store, and I saw that they were at one entrance, so I went the other way because I knew I didn't want to buy them.
Bypassed.
No, I didn't bypass them. They you can peel left or peel right. I peeled left. So. I think people know which. If you're in the North Shore, you know which grocery store I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've been told to say that I support my own Girl Scout.
That's pretty smart, actually.
Nobody's going to say, oh, okay, thank you.
That's a great move. Yeah, I got to sell my daughter, so.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you. Let's go to break. Let's get this back on track. I want some Mike Vrabel talk. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
people talk about like Ben Johnson over Vrabel. I get it. Like Ben Johnson, offensive guru, the offense is clicking. And I wasn't inside the locker room, but I covered you guys as your DA. And to me, what the team needed was what Vrabel brings. When he gets up there and says, we're going to get rid of the entitlement from the team. Like when you talk about Taylor Lewan and what he's talking about, like that's what he's preparing those players for, because Braves understands that the biggest and best part of the team is being accountable to each other and not being entitled. We've talked about it before. The favorite sign on the wall that I always pass through was mental toughness, doing everything that's right for the team when everything's not going right for you. And I think that's what Braves is talking about. Like, you got to come in and it's about the team. It's not about you as an individual. And I think he'll bring that to a young group.
Went to, a bowl game because it was so bad in the previous era was this guy Greg Robinson who punted on third down, and he was asked after the game, did you lose track of downs? He said, no, I tried to catch him off guard. It's like, well, yeah, you caught him off guard, man. You punted away the ball on third down.
Trying to remember who the coach was. Was it Pasqualoni?
Paul Pasqualoni,
yeah. I met him. Great guy.
Yeah, he then went and coached UConn.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like later on, yeah.
Yeah, I went to like a football camp with him, and
really,
you got to hold your center of gravity. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah, I think he started as like an O-line coach.
Yeah, he was. He was like this really small guy trying to teach me how to play line, and I look at him, I go, so did you play line?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I was a defensive back. I'm like, all right, center of gravity. Here we go. Mike Vrabel, named the head coach of the Patriots. I wanted Ben Johnson.
So we're going to agree on this. I did too. So the thing that I looked at is, like, if you look over the past, like, past decade, these offensive gurus, Shanahan has been to 2 Super Bowls. McVay, right? And I know McVay's he's in a different category than anybody else. This guy got hired when he was 30. But Matt LaFleur, he's had a lot of success there with the Packers. So I feel like these coaches have been very successful. Now, I get the Patriots in terms of getting the CEO, because I think if you say, like, rank it 1 through 10, I think Vrabel's an 8. Like, I think Vrabel's going to be a good coach. The question is just going to be putting the staff together. Now, one thing he has working for him, he has been good at hiring offensive coordinators. Like, he hired LaFleur, and then he hired Arthur Smith, who was a good OC, not so much a great head coach. But then they did have Todd Downing, which didn't exactly work. So that's my one thing, is I just think about...
He did okay at the end of this year, though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but when with Vrabel, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And he also had, like, a DUI issue or something?
I don't know. Did he?
Something to that degree.
But the other thing is this, is just like, I just thought about Drake May, this unbelievably talented quarterback, with Ben Johnson. Then you never, like, so say somebody comes in, offensive coordinator. Say it's Nick Caley, hypothetically, right? They go back to Nick Caley, which I would really like that. I'm not somebody that wants to bring McDaniels back. Caley, McVay tree, love it. You want to look at Josh McCown. Kevin O'Connell was not great the past couple games, but outstanding offensive mind. I'd like to interview Josh McCown. But you never have to worry about Ben Johnson leaving if he's doing well, right? Like, if you have one of these, say Nick Caley comes in, Drake May, 2 years from now, they're in the playoffs, and Drake May's a top 5 quarterback in the league. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility based on what we've seen from Drake May. I think he could be a top 5 quarterback in the league, and I don't think that's hyperbolic. Well, guess what? Nick Caley's getting a head coaching job. If you have Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson's not leaving for another head coaching job. And the fact that he wanted to coach Drake May, that was the reporting, that kind of disappoints me that the whole process was a sham. And, Joe, this is now 2 consecutive years the Patriots have technically had a head coaching opening. They haven't had one coaching search. The first year was Mayo. The second year, you know who hired Vrabel? Nobody. Vrabel chose to come to the Patriots. He had this thing in his contract with the Browns where, as an advisor, it expired 1 week prior to the end of the season, so he can interview. So he goes and interviews at the Jets. So he's like, hey, Robert, Jonathan, if you're serious about this, I'm gonna interview for other jobs. He's in there, his first interview, he's talking about his contract. It's not even an interview.
Legally, right, by the rules, the Patriots are clean. But in the court of public perception, they're not.
Dude, that was such a joke and so embarrassing for the league that they did that.
And I hate to say it, but, like, maybe the hire before is why it's not talked about. You know?
Yeah.
Because it was a league signed off from the league, right? Like, maybe there was some language in there that, hey, if this doesn't work out after 1 year, we'll follow the process. I don't know. I'm just assuming because, I mean, there's been reports already that the league's not happy about it.
Well, and the other thing is, okay, if reached out to Aaron Glenn first, who's like a serious head coaching candidate, right? There's a good chance he gets a job this cycle, but they went to him after when he knew it wasn't a real interview. Who else talked to Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton? Those guys aren't even up for jobs.
So it's funny. Pep Hamilton's on the list of potential offensive coordinators. Or could he work with the offense? So I am curious.
Yeah.
It's a sham. I'm with you. But I do think that maybe they interviewed those two specifically because maybe they wanted to pick the brain of Leftwich. You know, he was a big quarterback. I wouldn't call him mobile, but he could move. Pep Hamilton's 25 years in the league and played with the Texans, was with the Texans, and so I just wonder if they wanted to pick the brain of those guys.
Well, that's the first thing I said, like when it happened, is okay, these are both offensive minds, and there's the Leftwich Brady connection. So it's like, oh, he knows Tom, let's bring him in, and in a weird way, like not that this is a good thing, not that this is a good process for the league, but maybe it gets his name out there a little bit more for offensive coordinator positions. The one thing about Pep Hamilton is he has worked with like so many young quarterbacks, right? Andrew Luck going back to Stanford, and then he had Andrew Luck in the NFL.
With Shaw, too, yes. With Shaw, and then, you're right.
I believe he was with Justin Herbert, if I'm not mistaken.
Who was it with the Texans for David Culley's year? Because he was the offensive coordinator that year, too. I can't remember if it was
So was he with Watson?
Might have been, yeah.
Was he with Watson? He could have been with Watson early
in David Culley year.
David Culley. I totally forgot about that guy. He had a job for a year. They wanted to hire McCown. That's why Culley got the job. They were planning on it being McCown, and then they realized like this is going to be a really bad look if we fire a guy after a year, and then they want it to be McCown.
Just to get to the point here, it's me, Joe, getting right straight to the point. I don't know who those guys were. Anyway,
that was my buddy.
Oh, okay. What's up, buddy? I want Josh McCown, but why haven't they interviewed anybody this week?
I don't know. Like Vrabel was saying that it's going to be a long process here, but I feel like since you didn't have a real coaching search, I kind of think you had this has to be a more creative process, right? Where it's like, let's talk to all these different guys and see how they would sort of use Drake May, because I think the thing that the Patriots have in terms of an advantage is guys are going to want to coach Drake May because these up-and-coming coaches are going to look at it and say, hey, if we turn this around quickly, I'm going to get my opportunity to be a head coach. So I think they're going to have their choice at whatever offensive coordinator is out there. So I really hope it's Caley, though. And I know he hasn't called plays, but like Kevin O'Connell didn't call plays with McVay, and he goes to Minnesota as a head coach. He's had a ton of success. So
one's still playing, too. One's still coaching. Before I let you go, Red Sox weekend. Are the Red Sox done? And, you know, the talk's going to be Bregman. I've heard reports that they've offered 3 and he wants 4. But is there anything else that could happen? Is this Vlad Guerrero thing with the extension in Toronto? Because he's, you know, obviously just got arbitration, but there is an extension there. Do you see the team as what they are now, or do you think that they make a splash or a move?
I hope it's Bregman or bust, because I want no part in Nolan Arenado. If you look at all his numbers, like they were terrible last year. He had a slugging percentage south of 400, and he's aging. He's going to be a 34-year-old guy. It doesn't make sense to me. Bregman does, and I think what's going to happen with Bregman, this is a Scott Boras guy. We saw almost the same thing happen last year with a guy at the same position at the exact same age, entering his 31-year-old season. Matt Chapman, they wanted a big deal. They didn't get it, so they waited out. They got a Giants deal, a 3-year deal, and he had a great season in San Francisco, and then he got the extension. That's what I think is going to happen with Bregman. And one other big thing with Bregman, I was talking to Julian McWilliams today of the Globe. Had him on my pod. He made a great point, because basically it's Toronto, the Red Sox, and Detroit. In Detroit, they have A.J. Hinch there, but they play at Comerica Park. He's a pull hitter to the right side. It's one of the deepest parks in all of Major League Baseball. So it really doesn't behoove him to go there, especially if it's not on a mega, 7-8 year deal. Okay, totally different conversation, but he's much better off playing at Fenway Park. So I think it's him or bust, and then I would say if it's not him, I hope Campbell, and I believe Campbell will get a real opportunity to win the job out of camp at second, because I mean, Grissom, going back to his minor league days, he doesn't hit the ball hard.
I would trade that guy.
I don't know what you get at this particular point, but Campbell's a stud. And look, I'm optimistic about this team. I love the Crochet trade, love the shot on Buehler. If Buehler gets back to the guy that he was, in the postseason, last 10 innings, 13 strikeouts. You can't look at his season because he's coming back from an injury. He talked about the fact that he couldn't push off his leg. So I'm really optimistic about this team. The one thing they got to do, though, is they got to sign Crochet to an extension or spend money elsewhere. They're going to get the same critique from the fans, because it's not like you're paying Crochet yet. So And the Durant thing is a complete embarrassment for the team. The they wouldn't just give him an extra $500,000. Like, and even if like eventually you want to move him, that's not good for his value. Like this team, he played 160 games. He's in the top 10 in WAR, and you wouldn't give him an extra $500,000.
All right, just give me a yes or no question here. Would you trade Durant, Yoshida, and a prospect for Mike Trout?
In a second, but I think it'd take a lot more than that. Like
in more. Like if Mike Trout's available, would you do it?
Yeah, for sure. A right-handed hitter.
Would that be spending money?
Yeah, that would technically be spending money, right?
I don't know if the Angels are ready for that yet.
No, I think they'd need a more enticing package.
But the Duran thing is why I bring it up. Like,
I would I would put Meyer in that deal. Okay. I wouldn't put Anthony or Campbell in there. You want to throw Meyer in that deal? Meyer's dealt with injuries. He's struggled hitting lefties and he struggled hitting breaking balls. Like, I feel like the ceiling is like the upside is going up on Campbell. It's going a little bit down on Meyer.
Fellow here thinks that, we're blowing the Duran thing out of proportion. I just think that nitpicking over $500,000, it's not.
What's the point?
It shows that you're down on the player.
Well, and you have, I think it's like the 27th or sometime around there where you have to get it done. You go to an arbitrator. So you say, hey, we think these are the reasons we don't think he's worth this. We think he stinks at this or stinks at that. That's how these go. Like, it's a very
Mookie Betts?
Yeah, it's a very unhealthy process, right? Like
sure, Mookie Betts loved that.
Yeah, that's why Raffy, they just gave him, they're like, here's $20 million.
Yeah.
Like, Mookie's final year of arbitration, they gave him the most, at that point, it was the most money that anybody's ever gotten. It's like, okay, we don't want to make this guy mad because he's already passed on 200 at that point.
Big fan of this guy, Barrett. Very knowledgeable. The station should give him more time. Well, you're going to get more time on my show, at least. How about that?
All right, Joe. I'm in on that.
All right, and you got a podcast. Tell everybody about your podcast.
It's Off the Pike. Get it on Spotify. Get it wherever you listen to your podcast. All Boston sports. Today we had Julian McWilliams from the Globe talking Red Sox. I got into the Celtics a bunch as well. Always locked and loaded there, man. Have James White after every Patriots game.
Awesome. Brian Barrett, he is of The Ringer. Go check out his podcast. Check out his work. Who wins the national championship?
Ohio State. I want Notre Dame. And isn't it amazing? Like, I didn't grow up a Notre Dame fan, obviously, but Notre Dame I used to dislike. Like, I couldn't stand him during the Kelly era, and I know he's a Massachusetts guy, but, like, Marcus Freeman makes that team very likable. I'm surprised, like, maybe it's because he's in the title game. Like, I'd be calling him if I was the Chicago Bears. You kidding me? That guy's like see what he did to Kirby? Like, when he got his guys to, like, jump off? I hope it's Notre Dame. I don't like Ohio State, but I think it's going to be. Ohio State's just loaded.
There was this story that Robert Saleh shared recently that Brian Kelly asked them to show up to this party. And they thought that, like, when they showed up, they weren't on the guest list. They were on the workers list. And it was a snowstorm. And so they made, like, Robert Saleh and I can't remember who the other guy was that coached.
It was LaFleur, wasn't it?
LaFleur. It was LaFleur. That's right.
Really?
There you go, Skaz. Yeah. You heard the same story. And basically they had to shovel the cars. Brian Kelly made them shovel the cars. And then when it was done, they had to pick up everyone's car and valet it.
Dude, that guy's a loser. Remember when he did
remember the tower thing? I don't even have to get into that.
Yeah.
You know,
that's horrible. But just like from being a fraud, remember the accent when he went to LSU when he first got introduced? And now he's lying about his comments where he said, I wanted to win a national championship or whatever it is. He's like, oh, like, people are taking that out of context. It's like the quote's right there. You claimed you couldn't win a national championship there. It's another reason I'm cheering for Notre Dame.
I would say this. If you're from Chelsea, you can call him a poser. He ain't representing. He's not representing.
If he becomes the UMass coach in 2 years, he'll have a Boston accent.
I love that.
You know?
Actually, I'd really be in on that. Frank Martin, friend of the show. Friend of the show here. They had a triple overtime game last night.
That was insane. My dad's a UMass alum. That was a crazy game. He tells me every year. It's like, this is their year. This is their year. I'm like, Camby's not coming back, man. Like,
I know.
Padilla's not coming back. Travieso, Dante Bright, Dana Dingle. Yeah.
They had
Lou Rowe.
They had Carmelo Travieso, Edgar Padilla. It was Lou Rowe, Dana Dingle, and then Marcus Camby, and then they had
Dante Bright
and
Padilla.
Was it Marcus Williams? Point guard they had. He was pretty good, but then he got kicked out of school or something.
I don't remember. I remember Padilla.
I had refused to lose shorts.
Dude, those are sick. Travieso, that dude was legit. Remember when him and who was it, Chaney? Remember when he went
Calvin
after
Chaney, yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Chaney used to always have like the tie that would be like ripped down during the game. Like, man, that was it's still insane that he got, well, I know that they were like paying for guys, but like it's still or not paying for guys, but Camby got all these booster stuff, which now it's like it makes sense. Teams should be able to do this, but even the fact that they got violated NCAA rules, the fact that UMass was a juggernaut is insane.
Yeah. Hey, listen, one of the greatest nights of my life, I know this is what I mean as a kid, was when Chris Herron got kicked out of BC and went with Coach Tark, and they played UMass on Monday. It was Big Monday, and Dick Vitale was calling it, and he went off.
Was that Fresno State?
Fresno,
right?
Yeah.
Dude, he was so
Chris
good.
Herron went off. He had like this was like before Eminem, and he had the bleached hair already. He was a wild man. I love Chris Herron, by the way.
Yeah, he spoke in my high school.
Great guy, Project Purple. He's always represent. All right, we're late, and I apologize, Skaz. He's Brian Barrett, everybody. Check him out over at The Ringer. I'm Joe Murray. We'll hit the headline.
Sports Hub headlines.
Well, not much going on tonight. Still wondering who's going to be the next offensive coordinator for the Patriots. Kellen Moore, though. The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. I want to thank Brian Barrett for hanging out with us. Go check out his work. He does a really good job over at The Ringer. Great Celtic stuff. We got a couple of minutes to go. We got the musings coming up, and we're going to pay homage to a great. And, Skaz, I'm going to tease this quickly, but I'm the Grim Reaper, right? I just let's bookmark that because it may have happened again. So I'll tease that for the musings. But if you are watching right now on our YouTube channel, if you go to youtube.com and go to 98.5 The Sports Hub, everybody knows who Tommy from Lynn is.
Hi, everybody. What's up? I'm Tommy from Lynn.
Tommy from Lynn is here, everybody. He's next to me right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm next to Big Joe Murray. I'm here on the show.
Yeah, now here we go, Tommy. All right, we only got a minute left. What do you got to say today?
This is what I got to say today. The Celtics right now, they're in a slump. And everybody's yelling about them, getting mad, thinking Joe Mazzulla's starting to be the problem again like he was a few years ago. This team right now, they're in a slump. And I have faith in this team to get out of this slump. This team is playing bad. Derek White last night, a minus 29. That's bad. And Jaylen Brown's been playing bad the last month and a half. I don't know what's going on with him, but I still have faith with this team. They're going to go all the way. They're going to repeat. Let the problems happen now in the season and not happen in the playoffs.
All right, what's going on with the Bruins?
The Bruins right now, I was watching interviews of Neely last night and Jacobs. And the Jacobs. And you know what I thought about it? Is what is the Bruins doing? They have all these guys that have all these contracts that have no trade clause. And the only one that you're going to trade is Trent Frederick right now.
What do? What happens? Do they make the playoffs?
I think they're going to make the playoffs, but you know what their reputation is? Getting bounced out in the first round like every year, or maybe in the second round. It depends who they draw.
All right, Tommy.
All right.
Who's your favorite show on 98.5 The Sports Hub?
Well, it's Felger and Matt.
Oh, come on!
Joe,
come on!
Joe,
I just let you on the air, and you just did that to me.
No, Joe, your show's the best. How about that? But I love Joe and Felger and Maz, my two shows that I always call on 98.5. And everybody that hears me calling Joe's show sometimes, I always say a freestyle.
You got one for us?
Let's go. Hey, yo, it's Tommy from Lynn. I'm on the air with Joe Murray. I'm going in like I'm Drake May. Drake May's coming back in his second year in with a new coach, Mike Vrabel. Take him to the promised land. The Celtics, let's go. Let's get back to reality and come back to life. Hey! Tommy from Lynn, that's what I got to say tonight. Joe, you're the man. I love you.
All right, well, I want to be your favorite show, okay?
You are my favorite show. Got you.
We got the musings coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right, Tommy.
All right.
Who's your favorite show on 98.5 The Sports Hub?
Well, it's Felger and Matt.
Oh, come on!
Joe.
Come on!
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
for every Patriots game.
It's going to look different, and it's going to smell different.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. A Wesley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
No Bruins, no Celtics. Celtics do play tomorrow. Bruins Saturday. Still waiting on that offensive coordinator for the Patriots. Kellen Moore is going to interview for the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job. Word on the street is Deion Sanders, if offered, is being persuaded to take the job. Also, Bill Belichick's contract, of course. Well, at least that $10 million buyout, a little bit of a gray area at the moment. Headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Being more healthy, eating better, losing weight. Are you accomplishing your New Year's goal? It's 10 times easier with help. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray. We pay homage to a great next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Tommy.
All right.
Who's your favorite show on 98.5 The Sports Hub?
Well, it's Felger and Matt.
Oh, come on!
Joe.
Come on! I was wondering where I was getting the feedback. Can you believe that, Skaz? That was priceless, though.
That's definitely my favorite drop of the new year. I'll say that for sure. That one's making it in the year-end review.
Did you hear how pissed I was?
Pissed.
Did you play one more time? It's Tommy from Lynn, everybody.
Hold on, give me a second. The computer, of course it did. It just froze up.
No, it's whenever you need something. Tommy from Lynn was just on with us, and I asked Tommy, who's your favorite show on 98.5 The Sports Hub? And, well, this is the answer that he gave once it's all ready to go. All right, Tommy.
All right.
Who's your favorite show on 98.5 The Sports Hub?
Well, it's Felger and Matt.
Oh, come on!
Joe.
Come on! I was pissed. No, well. All right, well, a couple of people told me here tonight that I'm their favorite show, so at least I'll take that for the night. We lost Bob Uecker today. I'm very sad about it. He was one of my favorites. One of my mentors, of course, is Jerry Trupiano, who I worked with at 98.5 The Sports Hub early on. They were friendly, so I know they had a great relationship. I've heard a lot of Bob Uecker stories. I can never forget Bob Uecker from WrestleMania 3, was it? Can't remember. Yeah, it might have been 3. And it was Andre the Giant versus... Oh, it was the one with Big John Studd and The Money, $1 Million Man. Can't remember what year that was now. Anyways, but Andre the Giant gave him a little choke, remember? And then, what else? Oh, Major League, the movie, which I'm still quoting to this day. So this is what I meant by Reaper. Topher, who's here tonight, I did a podcast with him over the holiday. And the name of his podcast was Just a Bit Outside. Well, who's the famous one for that?
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Did I Reaper him, Skaz?
I don't know if I can give you credit for this one, Joe. I know you don't want credit.
I don't want credit.
I'm not putting this one on you.
You can't put that one on me. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Anyways, so we got some clips. Skaz has some things lined up for you, so why don't we pay homage to a great one, Bob Uecker, who left us today at the age of 90.
Bases loaded, 2 down for the ninth, leading 10-7. Bases loaded, 2 down, and Rick Vaughn has come on to try and nail it down against Felipe Aguilar, a dangerous right-handed batter. Here's the pitch.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close? Hello again, everybody. Harry Doyle here, welcoming all you friends of the feather to another season of Indians baseball. A lot of new faces in Chief Wahoo's tribe this year as they take on the defending American League champs, the New York Yankees. And hopefully we'll have some of the names that go with those faces before their first at-bat.
Man, I miss him already. The best.
It's crazy.
The best is when Monty's his color commentator, but he's just pouring the booze at the same time. Fly ball to left field. Who gives a crap? And then Monty's breathing out of the bag. Well, anything else, guys?
That is it, Joe. Just some major league highlights there.
Very sad. I'm sad about this one.
I'm sad that his last game was I don't know if you remember that series at all versus the Mets, but some heartbreaking losses for the Brewers in that series.
Oh my God. There are some people. Well, something's going on out here. But there are people that we know from Milwaukee, right? Is Trenny from Milwaukee, right? Felger is from Milwaukee.
No, Wisconsin, I thought.
No, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, just
that's Bird, everybody.
Yeah, hi.
Hey guys. Hi. They're giving away something as I'm doing.
I believe it's Bruins tickets.
Oh, are we chill? Are we doing?
They're doing it.
I'm on the air, so I can't help you guys right now.
I'll take care of it.
But anyways,
anywho,
today is January 16th. It's been a great time tonight here at the Sylvan St. Grille. Let's look up some January 16th birthdays today. Let's see what we have on the old list. I cannot do this right now, everybody. I'm on the air. So let's see. We have, for birthdays today, John Carpenter, 77 years old. Debbie Allen is 75 years old. Richard T. Jones is 53 years old. Kate Moss, 51 years old today. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, 45 years old today. Wow, Tommy from Lynn won something. I'll recap that coming up in just a little bit. Some other birthdays. Oh, my God. Today is Aaliyah's birthday. Aaliyah. Let's see who else we have today. I don't know if you got anything back there, Skaz, but that's it for me, man. Joe Flacco's 40 years old today.
Did you say Albert Pujols?
I did not.
Albert Pujols' birthday today.
Pujols, 45 years old today. Katie Maloney of Vanderpump Rules. Who else?
Go get your prize.
I think that's all we have today. So we're at Sylvan St. Grille right now. What you hear behind me is they decided to do the giveaway now. We gave away Bruins tickets.
No, we gave away the prizes over here.
Okay, yes, the prizes are over here. Someone just won a Dennis Eckersley.
This gentleman.
Autographed. What's your name, bro?
What's your name, buddy?
Chris Donovan. You won a Dennis Eckersley jersey signed, buddy.
Are you related to Brian Donovan? No, forget it. I know the Donovans, but they're in the South Shore.
So what Tommy win?
Bruins hat.
Tommy won a Bruins hat. All right, man.
Yeah, nice.
Well, thank you for the people over at Sylvan St. Grille tonight. What'd you eat, Bird?
I just had the Southwest rolls, the buffalo chicken, the steak and cheese egg rolls.
Yeah.
Gluten-free, thank God.
Gluten-free, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you on this one.
All right.
Do you feel that restaurants cater more to gluten-free or not?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No, they're getting better at it.
Okay.
They're getting better at catering to us, yes.
If Bird was going to make his own food truck.
Oh, boy.
And it was gluten-free, what would be the food that you would choose to be in the truck?
In the truck, I would do They have gluten-free bread. So
okay, so I know you buy that gluten-free pizza often.
Yes.
But
I would gluten-free pizza truck? All right.
That's not bad, right? Because everyone needs a bird's pies.
I like that, bird's pies. I was thinking more like chicken palm, like sandwiches and steak and cheeses with the... Yeah, but the gluten-free bread stinks so bad. It sucks. It does. So what I do with it...
Maybe you should try to come up with your own gluten-free bread.
I do. I put garlic...
You call it bird bread.
I put butter on it and garlic salt or powder or whatever and make it like a... I put it in the toaster oven for a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a nice little crunch, because as is, it's disgusting.
What do you want there to be more gluten-free of that there isn't enough of?
gluten-free sub rolls. Like, I need gluten-free
Like, you
sub
can't
rolls.
have, like, a ham and cheese sandwich anymore.
No, I can't. I gotta buy the gluten-free wraps and make them that way.
I love a wrap.
Yeah, that too.
You know my story. I tried to get a meatball on a wrap, and the place wouldn't sell it to me.
I got a story for you. This kid, TJ, I went to high school with. We went to De Blasie's in Everett.
De Blasie's, yep.
Yes.
I know that.
Great place. He ordered a meatball wrap. So it was 4 meatballs and a wrap.
I would
we're
love that.
crapping on him. Like, who gets a meatball on a wrap, dude?
But what if you're gluten-free?
He wasn't gluten-free. This is like late 90s.
Doesn't matter. I like food on a wrap.
Okay, but meatballs in a wrap?
Why not?
Okay.
So here's the deal. I went to a place called Bender's.
Ooh, okay.
And when I went in there, I said, can I get meatballs on a wrap? And they go, we're not going to do that. They were like, no.
It's like,
but why not? What if I was gluten-free? They know what they kept saying?
What?
You could just buy the meatballs without bread. And I said, you're not understanding me. I want a meatball.
I just want a meatball.
So you know what I should have done? Should have just bought a wrap and did it myself.
Yeah, sure.
Can I get gluten-free wraps?
Yeah, oh yeah. This is gluten-free wraps, and I just found out meatballs have wheat in it, so I can't. It depends how they make them. You know what I mean?
Wow. People in the chat are antagonizing you.
Ooh, nice. I love the chat rooms, even on TNH.
Well, I missed a big birthday today.
Yes, you did.
I didn't miss it yet.
Wait,
This is where
did Am12 reach out to you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I did that.
I didn't hear yours.
I was at 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know. I just turned it on randomly. I'm like, I hear myself. Oh, this is perfect timing. This is great.
I've already given my. You have already given yours to Fred Toucher.
Did you do yours right now?
Today is Fred Toucher's 50th birthday. Today
he's 50 years old. He kicks and stretch.
So
kicks again.
If you were to give him a gift of 50-something, I
gift card
would probably give him 50 cans of Diet Coke.
Or scratch tickets. I would give him scratch tickets.
$50 worth of scratch tickets?
Yeah.
What if he hits?
$50 gift card. Good for him.
What if so you wouldn't like? What if he hit big? Speaking of this,
boy. Oh, here we go.
The Super Bowl is coming.
Yes, it is.
A lot of people run Super Bowl squares.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Skaz, I want to bring you in on this one.
Yeah, I want his opinion on this too.
Skaz, if you run a Super Bowl square, right, and somebody wins, like, the big prize, let's call it, do you tip the person that organized the square? Skaz, what do you got on that one?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to. I think that's, like, the nice thing to do. I think it also depends on the prize. You know, if it's like... If the prize, I don't want to give specifics, I guess. If it's not the biggest number, I don't think you really have to tip. If
it's less than $1,000, don't bother, basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I think, I think right around there. Yeah. I think
like $100, I want my $100.
Yeah, I'm not tipping you.
Yeah, if it's like $100, you keep the money.
Go fly a kite. No.
But if it's a pretty big pool, I think you got to give a little kickback there.
So, okay, I'm very curious about this one because... you've seen Home Alone, right?
Yes,
when Rob Schneider is the one, wants the tip.
Yep.
And he gives him the gun. And there's more where that came from. I don't know. Like, I've done 50-50 raffles before where I've won and I gave the money to the charity.
Yeah.
Because, like, how do you, like, that one I understand.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But I put in for that square.
You did.
Hey, let's say I won $500. What do I grease I have to grease the organizer?
No. If it's high four figures, we'll say.
Topher says yes.
What? No. 500?
Hey, my buddy who organizes our fantasy football league, he doesn't ask for a dime.
No. Even in my fantasy football league, I don't ask him for a dime.
But I need
whoever wins.
But I have to tip the guy who does the square.
No. I mean, like, if it's like, say there's $20,000 on the line, like, if you want to tip him, go ahead. Like, there's no, like, unnamed law to say you have to do it. Like, that's up to you. It's up to the human being that wants to do it the right thing or not. Like, there's no need to. If it's if I hit $20,000 on a square, I'll give him like a couple $100. You know what I mean? That's cool. No. But if he says, so you tip me, I'm like, I'm out on you. If he asks for a tip, no.
I understand that tipping is courteous.
Yes, it is.
It's funny. Someone actually asked this question today.
What?
If a bill was $52.50 and you were going to split it, what should the tip be? My answer was $12.
Okay.
I generally do whatever the number is. Bert, if the number's 5, I do 5 times 2.
Yep.
That's 10.
Yep. I don't have math.
Plus 1.
11.
And then it's 50, so I
overtip because my sisters run the business.
Topher's very in on this one.
I know.
What do you got, Topher?
Oh, my God. All right, so I believe in the tipping piece because if you're a commissioner or anything like that running a league, dude, the man is running everybody, and they're controlling the prima donnas that actually get into the league. So giving the man a little courtesy and paying him a little bit, or even just saying, here's $5, go home to the wife, relax, have a day. There's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with it.
But he's also controlling everybody that has a
But that guy's chirping everybody every week.
That's his fault.
No, he doesn't deserve a dime.
No, if he's chirping everybody being a jerk, no tip.
Zero tip.
It's kind of like the wonderful waitresses at Sylvan St. Grille. If they take care of you wonderfully, you're going to tip them because it's courtesy, and you do what you do. But if you're doing something like that and they're being jerks, nah. Out.
How about this? What about if the brokerage babe mentions this one? What if the person gets a free square because they organized it, or gets free squares? I'd rather that.
Yeah. I'll give him a free square.
I'm fine with that. In.
Okay, I'm in on that.
I think we've settled the debate.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't be asking for it. If you're, like he said, week to week, oh, you tip me, you tip me. Like, no. Out. Get out. Get out of here. No need.
Well, happy birthday, Fred.
I totally forgot about it already. Oh, boy. Yeah,
All
happy
right.
birthday, Fred.
Well, that's
Love you,
it.
man. Thank you.
That was musing, Skaz. Was that amusing enough for you, Skaz? Has it been in the music night? What's going on back there?
I would say it's been a very amusing night, Joe. Some great cameos stopping by, some good callers. You trying to start a one-on-one basketball tournament against callers. We've been all over the place tonight.
Yeah. That, if I had it in me, I'd love to do a wing eating contest. We could really get down on that one.
I will defeat you in that, no problem.
You know what? Are those gluten free? The breaded ones.
Oh no.
So then you're done.
I thought it was the naked. I thought it was the naked ones.
I love naked wings.
Naked wings with barbecue sauce, buffalo.
What would you dip them in?
Whatever's in front of me. I'm not picky.
Whatever it is.
I'm not picky at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a large drink over there.
Yes.
Not yours. What's
that's mine.
Forgot.
That's mine. That's my Downey cider.
It hasn't.
Downey cider.
Oh, it hasn't been sipped yet. So go sip it.
I will.
All right.
We'll continue listening. Thank you, Joe.
Go to a break. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
right now. I guess I never really realized that we were on video for a lot of the part of tonight, so, But you're right, Skaz. Someone challenged me. Someone said they'd talk circles around me in basketball and then would run circles around me. Then another guy just basically said that he thinks he knows what I look like and that I would lose, but then I don't know what he looks like. What else happened? Brian Barrett gave us a lot of stats off the top of his head. What was the other thing that we talked about in or out that was very interesting? Those team restaurants, out. I don't know how I feel about those. So, Skaz, tomorrow night you're not here, buddy, huh?
Yes, Joe. It'll be you and George tomorrow night, I believe.
George!
We'll have Celtics tomorrow night.
So, I won't tell everybody where you're going, but are you a skier? Do you ski?
I am. I won't be this weekend, but I have in the past, yes.
So what happens now? Everybody goes skiing, and you just kick back and you're going to watch football all week.
I'll be watching football on the couch, Joe. Playing a little ping pong, shooting some hoops. Yeah, nice leisure weekend.
I like that. That's fun to me. That sounds great.
No complaints on mine. It's not my trip. I'm a passenger, but yes, I will be there, and yeah, it should be a good time. Hopefully the Celtics win tomorrow night. That'll make it a much better time.
What's going on with the Magic right now?
Magic are a little banged up, but they historically have played the Celtics well. This feels like, it's way too early for must-wins, but how the Celtics come out in this one, I think, will tell us a lot. Do they feel the urgency? Do they hear the noise? Joe Mazzulla has talked about the noise, numerous occasions, how they don't listen, how they listen, how they're aware of it, they're not aware of it. So for me, I'm very interested how they start the game. I know you've mentioned numerous times tonight and last night, it's more about how they finish these games. Their fourth quarter struggles have been, dire over the last month. They've really just, gotten taken advantage of it in the fourth defensively. They're not up to par, and maybe it's a fatigue thing. So I'm very interested how they start and how they finish tomorrow night.
All right, I wanted to just give an update on this game. The Thunder right now lead the Cavaliers 121-87. So, do you think people in Cleveland are freaking out tonight about what's going on with Cleveland losing to the Thunder like this?
Freaking out is probably strong, but I think this is kind of a wake-up call. OKC is putting teams and the NBA on notice right now. This is an OKC team without Holmgren. I don't think Hartenstein's playing tonight. They could be in on Cam Johnson at the deadline. OKC is right now the best team in the league. They are playing
They're
better.
the favorites to win the NBA championship at the moment, according to BetOnline.
And they should be. They're the best team in the league right now. They're playing the best. They have the best chemistry. You watch them post-game, pre-game. They're a unit. They do everything as one. You see it on the court on a nightly basis. Their defense is absolutely smothering the Cavaliers right now. So, yeah, as of today, right now, I know it's only January 16th, but I have a tough time seeing anyone else coming out of the West right now.
Okay. The Cavs are losing by 30 or more. So for all those that are freaking out, the Cavs are Celtics. The New York Knicks, same thing. So just wanted to throw that out there for all those that are certainly worried about the Celtics, although something may be going on there. All right, so my next guest is sitting next to me. Whenever I'm here, he shows up. I appreciate the support there. His name's Harmon, but nobody knows that.
Right.
He's the Be a Man guy.
Oh, you're looking great, by the way. Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, what's going on?
What are you selling? What do you got? What have you been passing out some swag?
I got you.
And be careful. Dump buttons, guys. Remember.
The other one we got to watch with the dump buttons. Especially after Tommy said that.
Could you believe that? I asked him.
Did you go one of these, Bob?
Oh, this is cool. You put it on the back of your phone there, and you can.
You guys are one of these?
Look at this.
Things for your phone?
The Be a Man guy.
Yeah.
How's your book sales going?
Book sales are good.
I got a story to tell you.
What's that?
I'm not one to. I've talked on this show before about places that you go to the bathroom that aren't your own.
Right.
I have a couple of spots. Designated poop spots is what I call them.
You know my favorite spot.
Where is it?
Home Goods.
Oh, yeah.
All women go to that store, and it's always clean.
Okay, so I have a story to tell you.
Okay.
I had an emergency poop situation, and it was in kind of like an office, but I won't give it away. It was on the North Shore.
Okay.
But I know the guys that were there, and it was one of those situations where I had to get a key to go in.
Oh, so they know.
So I saw them go, hey guys, mind if I use your restroom real quick? They're like, yeah, no problem. They gave me the key, no problem. When I went into the bathroom, there was the Be a Man book.
Really? No way. Awesome.
In the bathroom.
Well, you know why? Because you can read it in 5 minutes. Big letters, a lot of pictures.
No, but I just thought it was great that
yeah, that's great.
That's
great.
what the place had.
You have to tell me later.
It's a card shop.
Okay.
In the area.
I'll have to take a picture in there.
But
that's awesome.
It was excellent.
Oh wow, nice. We have the book anyways, all right?
I have the book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I tell people, if you have to read like 100 books in the year 2025 and you're number 99, New Year's Eve at 11:45 p.m. you can read mine and you'll be done with the 100.
So like
easy reading.
So with this year, are you gonna write another one? What do you think you'll do?
Yeah. We have an agent now, and she wants to.
Whoa!
She wants to get going on that and a couple other things. So
I have a guy I'm gonna hook you up with. I got a guy.
Oh, good.
Local guy. Maybe you guys might even know each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could do like the king of one-liners. I know you do shows.
Yeah.
You have anything coming up?
Well, I'll tell you, from like March to September, I was 2 or 3 times a month. I was like all over America. Seemed I just kind of took the fall off. Like I was supposed to go to like California, supposed to go to Florida, do a couple of things. I just kind of laying low, and everything's going to be starting back up.
Yeah, you want to ramp back up?
Yeah, at the end of February. But I have a lot of local appearances. I do.
But that's perfect for you.
Yeah. That's the way I like it.
Couple of things on this that I have for you. So you posted a photo recently, and I knew it was old.
Yeah.
But you were like in a hospital.
Yeah, right.
Do you know how many people reached out to me asking me what's wrong with you?
I know. I had like from Big Cat to Shane Gillis to
Shane Gillis, good dude. I like him.
Yeah, they everyone.
Look at you name dropping all these guys.
Humble brag, you know.
Who do you like? Who's your favorite nowadays?
It's on the radio. You, of course.
No,
as far as comedians.
Yeah, you know who I was telling Skaz about this the other day. He's back at the studio. I really like that. Is it Noah? What was his name, Skaz? Why I keep
Nate
saying his name?
Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze. I thought he was
good.
You know why I like him? Clean.
Yeah.
He's safe. Like you
Yeah.
But I laughed. The guy made me laugh. I do like the raunchy. I like all that.
I'll have to check him out.
I saw the recent Shane Gillis. I thought it was pretty good.
I get buddies Tommy Pope and Chris O'Connor who have a podcast, and they're on Tires also. We saw Tommy Pope for the first time do stand-up last year, like 6 months ago. Like the best I ever saw. Me and my partner Joe couldn't believe how good he was. We've known him for years.
So tell me about your brother.
My brother, that's Mr. Monday.
And he's the guy always laughing after your videos, right?
No, that's Tonzo.
Oh, that's Tonzo.
That's Tonzo.
But I've seen him do videos too.
Oh yeah, well he's the one that has talent in the family.
So
I'm an idiot.
He's the talent. You're the face.
That's Dan Marino right there.
He kind of does have a Dan Marino look. Oh, you do?
Yeah. We were unfortunately, our cousin Tony died, and Dan Marino was at the wake and sat with us.
Get out of here,
Carlo.
True story?
Yeah. Tell him about Goose's wake.
Dan Marino showed up to the wake.
Yeah. Well, he played with the Tony Saragusa.
So okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Real quick though, what do you do in that situation? You're at a wake, and Dan Marino's next to you.
No, we saved him a seat.
No, what I'm saying is,
yeah.
Do you get an autograph? Do you take a selfie? What do you do in that situation?
Just play it cool, be a man.
Yeah, I
know. but he sits down, and Carlos like, you get the second best arm in style.
Oh,
that's what he said to Marino.
Okay, let's get Be a Man tiers. Okay. In your opinion, of your lifetime, forget about championships, forget about winners.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, who are the top 5 quarterbacks of all time? There's no wrong. This is your answer.
Okay.
There's no wrong answer.
If you're not talking championships and stuff, I gotta say Rodgers in the top 5. Brady.
Interesting.
Rodgers. Anybody throw a better ball than him when he was on? He was incredible.
I think he was really good with footwork more than anybody else.
Yeah, but
there were guys who could run, right? But footwork in the pocket, Rodgers changed the game.
Pinpoint accuracy on his passes too. You know?
Yeah. I always loved Elway.
Mm-hmm.
Got
Elway,
strong arm, right?
He can run. Yeah, Montana, Brady, of course, Elway, like you say.
And then now, who's going to win the MVP this year? You got Lamar.
In what, football?
Yeah, you got Lamar.
Yeah, I think Lamar's looking good this year.
So, I feel like Joe Burrow might get a late push because
maybe
he.
Are the votes in already?
So I don't know, actually. I know that they're the finalists, and I've looked at the betting odds already.
Okay.
It's kind of swayed between Lamar and Josh Allen. The reason why I'd probably give it to Josh Allen is he lost his best receiver, and he still won.
Yeah, he's so
and Lamar
good.
is like the recency bias, right? The guy who wins it every year.
Yeah.
It's like you get a little bored of it, you know?
I just hope he stays healthy.
So do you have like a message for the Celtics? What do you think? Keep it clean. What do you think's going on in there?
Do the right thing. Be a man. I mean,
they say stick together. Be a man.
Yeah, you make a lot of money. It's a long season. They won the championship, so I mean, as long as they turn it on, get it together down the stretch. I love the coach. I mean, Coach Joe's the best.
So you're a big Joe Mazzulla guy?
Oh, I love him.
Does he know you?
I heard he does. I haven't met him yet, but he's half Italian, so we're probably cousins.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a phrase that says "Never remember anyone's name." Be a man.
Yeah, of course. I got a question for you. I want to ask you.
All right.
Vrabel in the number 4 pick or Mayo in the number 1 pick?
Vrabel in the number 4 pick.
Yeah, all day, right?
Listen, they swept that thing under the rug pretty quick. Now they want us to forget about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It took me like half a day to forget about it, and then I couldn't.
I was a little. I always liked the Crafts. I was a little bit down on them, but they did the right thing.
See, I think they're still comfortable.
Yeah.
No. What I mean by it is, can they get uncomfortable?
No, I mean,
no. Go with somebody you have a search, find your guy, create your own identity. Instead, they're going with the safe guy that they know.
I think they're afraid to have a first-time coach again. So that's probably why they didn't go with that defensive coordinator. That one there's from when I was playing hockey.
Yeah, you have a lot of.
I broke that in Peabody, right down the street. That's John Fiore.
So, you're buddies with him, right?
Yeah, good guy.
What's he doing these days?
He's actually doing something at the Wilbur the 26th of March. Gary Tangway is actually in the same play as him.
Gary Tangway?
Yeah,
Love
he's
Gary.
He's in it, and a lot of other local actors.
So, do you get to do shows beforehand, like the opening act or whatever?
Yeah, sometimes I get called out to open up, and I say a couple of stupid lines. Didn't say "be a man" at the end. Yeah.
So, was there anything in here that got your creative juices going tonight? You ever see something you might see a guy drinking a drink with a straw and
the guy next to me was drooling on me. I was like, keep in your pants, be a man. He loved it. He's a nice guy. He's a be a man fan.
But he was drooling.
He was hammered.
Oh, okay.
He was watching me. So I sat down. He was watching. He sat down next to me. So, be a man. Well, how you doing? Oh, I'm a huge fan. He's just such a pal. Keep in your pants, be a man.
Do you know what I don't like? Is when people are inebriated and they lean on me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be leaned on.
No, I know.
And this happened to me at a Patriots game once, but I bought a bucket of popcorn. And the guy behind me reached behind me and put his hands in my popcorn and started eating it. I lost it.
No, that's
not being a man.
I mean, the guy probably didn't wash his hands after he went to the bathroom.
I don't want the popcorn now.
Yeah.
You know?
I was at Rough and Rowdy, and Frank the Tank.
Oh!
You know Frank the Tank, right?
Oh, yes.
I was sitting next to him, and he has he has that leather thing around his neck that he chews on.
Yep.
Because I think he has maybe Asperger's or something. But great guy. But he was chewing on that and touching it, and me and my nephew had a thing of popcorn, and he reached into it, and I was like, here you go, you can have it.
Yeah. I'm out on that in general.
Yeah.
Anyone who touches my stuff, I'm out.
Especially food.
Give me a prediction for. We got to go. Give me a prediction for 2025.
2025. Bruins are going to get knocked out in the first round. The Red Sox are going to make the playoffs.
Whoa!
I think the Patriots will be maybe 8 or 9 wins.
About the Celtics?
Celtics. I don't
Do they win it all?
No, I don't think they win it all.
Who does?
I'm not up on my basketball, but if I had
it's not them,
I'd say Milwaukee probably.
Whoa!
Maybe
Giannis?
Maybe Milwaukee.
All All right, well, shout out all your stuff. Be a man, your Mr. Mondays.
Go to Boston, be a man anywhere. There's talk at TikTok maybe coming down Sunday. We don't know, but if you
what's up with that?
If you follow us there and they take it off, we're on every other platform imaginable, so you can see us there. I don't know what's going on. I keep on getting text messages and emails with conflicting reports. So my thing is all along is it's not going anywhere in America. It's worth too much money, so it's gonna somehow stay around.
I'm not. You're technically like a guy on TikTok. Like you're a TikToker.
Yeah, because I can only remember 5-second lines. That's why it's perfect for me. Be an idiot. Be a man.
All right, he's the Be a Man guy. Harmon's his name. No, not a lot of people know that, huh?
No.
And I got to tell you, read his book because if you like stories about, growing up in Boston and what it was like back in the day, the pre-Big Dig.
Back in the day, back in the 60s.
I would love a documentary on the Big Dig. Like that would be.
We know, me and Mr. Monday know a lot of guys that worked there for the Big Dig and never showed up for 1 second.
They get paid?
They just, no-show jobs.
They get paid though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
I always share my story about I got poison ivy in the summer, and we used to work Boston City like landscaping.
Yeah.
Got poison ivy the first day, paid for the summer.
You gotta love it.
I didn't, go for that. It just ended up happening.
The way it worked out. Who you say no?
Mayor Menino, right?
Yeah.
Hyde Park
He was the
Club.
best. He was a good guy.
He was the best. Harmon, thank you, sir.
All right, good to see you.
He's the Be a Man guy. Check him out. He'd be a great, if you go want to check him out at a show, too, he'd be a great guy to check out. All right, we got to get the final headlines of the night. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, no Red Sox, no Patriots, no Bruins, no Celtics. What do we do? What do we do?
of the nines.
Solak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today. On the Sylvan St. Grille in Peabody. Want to thank Cody for owner here. Does an excellent job. Kayla's been helping us out all night. Great crew here at Sylvan Street. We really only ate the appetizers, Tyler, but I'm telling you, man, I'd love that Toll House pie to go. Oh, maybe I should ask for it. Toll House pie? Oh, man.
I mean, we're still here for a bit, so you might as well ask for it.
You got a long ride home, don't you?
Probably an hour and a half.
What was the cool? So how many seasons have you done Patriots now?
This was my third season doing it.
What's the coolest venue you've been to?
Obviously, Las Vegas, because it's brand new.
I'm going this year.
Yeah.
To WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So
Very
it's
nice place,
legit?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Wonder who the coach is going to be there.
Who knows? We'll find out.
I think it's Ben Johnson. At least that's who I wanted the Patriots to get. But so what's the next coolest venue? What about, did you go Germany?
I went to Germany, yeah. We went there last year. And
what was it this year? London?
London this year.
What'd you like better?
I personally like Germany better.
Yeah. Any food?
Food was good. Beer was good. I was actually allowed to drink over there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, so your dad doesn't like cheese? What's he only eats burgers. Like, isn't there something he doesn't eat?
Every time we'll go, it's burger, and he tells them I want it like a hockey puck.
Yeah, he likes it well done.
Yeah, well done, almost burnt.
What about a steak?
Not a big steak guy, no.
But his burger, he wants charcoaled.
Yep.
Wow.
Nothing on it.
What about you? No?
I like a good bacon burger.
Good. Yeah.
Lots of cheese.
Cheese, yep.
Yep.
What kind of toppings are we talking here?
Just basic lettuce, onions.
We're out. Lettuce out.
Well, no, I don't. I like the shredded lettuce, not the one big leaf. That's too much.
Sometimes I have to. When I get a taco, they put the lettuce on there.
Take it out.
It's not how I want it.
Yeah.
I just want cheese.
I get that.
So, well, that's Tyler Newton, everybody. He's helping us out tonight. I just figured I'd ask you where your favorite place is. I'm excited. I'm going to WrestleMania this year. It's in Vegas.
Yeah, should be good.
Vegas is great food, too.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't want to do anything on the Strip. I want to go, like, outside of Vegas and, like, food truck it and really just. Someone just said, make me a McMurray. Germany, way better than England. Someone agrees with you. Oh, I saw this one, Skaz. If I asked you, Skaz, who has the most points in the NHL since January 1st, do you know who that is?
I do not. Are you going to tell me it's David Pastrnak?
David Pastrnak, 11.
Hey, well, it's about time.
Patrick Kane, 10, by the way.
They need him. We've said it, but the biggest thing, the change when they're winning these games is this team needs Jeremy Swayman to be the best player on the ice, and David Pastrnak has to contribute. That's how they win games.
What path would you take right now, Skaz?
What path would I take?
Yeah, because Cam Neely talked about multiple paths.
Oh, well, I don't think they're a Stanley Cup contender, so I would be retooling. But this team doesn't do that. They're going to get marginally better, so it looks like they're a Stanley Cup contender, and then they'll lose in the playoffs. That's what they do.
I would just... McAvoy's the guy I'd move on from. I opened up the Brad Marchand trade. I actually heard Felger say that today. So maybe he agrees with me. But I thought that his comments, despite the winning streak and looking better, I thought his comments was just that when you look back at this run, you just talked about it. They're going to make the playoffs and probably get bounced. They never received compensation for any of the stars that they had during the run. None of them. And I'm not saying that Marchand's going to give you back a haul. But is there a team out there? Let's just say Edmonton. Let's just use Edmonton, right? They went to the Stanley Cup before. Could they give up, let's just call it a conditional third and a player? Would you do that?
Is that worth it for the Bruins?
What do you mean worth it? I think getting anything, if Martian's not, like, what's his future contract going to be? You're going to give him $3 million a year? Is he worth that? No, he's worth the $1 million that everybody else used to get.
Yeah, I just have a tough time seeing them trading their captain. It just doesn't feel like a Bruins move. It's like the Chicago Bears firing their head coach. Like they did it for the first time in season since like 1900 or something like that. If it just feels like a very un-Bruins move for them to make to trade a captain. They're too loyal, Joe. You're saying it. They don't get anything for these guys. I just have a tough time believing the first guy they're going to get something for is going to be the captain.
Okay. I mean, you're not wrong. McAvoy's my guy then. If that's the case.
Well, it feels like there's steam around the league on Frederick. Frederick seems like a piece the teams might be interested in. So maybe it's Frederick and someone else. But what is that? The whole thing for me is none of these moves are enough. If you're going to blow it up, you got to blow it up. And if you're going to get better, they have to make a legit hockey move, and I just don't see how they have the assets to do that and make their hockey team better. They don't have any assets.
All right, Scaz, before I let you go, we have a couple of games this weekend. Who do you like? We got, I forget point spreads. Texans, Chiefs.
I think it's 8.5.
8. Right now, 8 Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I lean Chiefs. Andy Reid with that much time to prepare, Mahomes with that much time to prepare. I thought the Texans defense was awesome, so maybe, you think about the under in that game, but I hate to say it, but it's like the Brady and the Patriots thing. How do you bet against them with that much time to prepare? I don't see it for the Texans.
Commanders go to the Lions. I feel as though it was a very good win for Washington. I think it's hard to win back-to-back games, especially with a rookie quarterback. 10's a lot. I lean under 55 in that one.
Yeah, and this is, we don't do parlays. Parlays are bad, but this is one of those scenarios where you think about teasing, in my opinion. You tease the Lions down to 4, tease the Chiefs down to 3, and then take that teased under in that Chiefs-Texans game that's like, 47.5, because I don't see a ton of points in that game. But yeah, I think that's 10's a lot in the playoffs, but that Commanders defense was so good last week, and they haven't been all year. I don't know if they can play that well 2 weeks in a row.
Taking the Rams over the Eagles.
You're Rams, Joe. Joe Murray's Rams.
So technically, I have a bet for the Eagles to make the NFC Championship, and I have the Rams to go to the Super Bowl.
Sitting pretty.
I like the Rams. And it's. I do think the Eagles are great. I just think that. Now, the only thing is Stafford in the cold.
Don't you think that the coaching discrepancy there too?
Yeah.
That might be the biggest coaching mismatch of the weekend.
The only thing I'll say this is I do think Nick Sirianni's underrated. He's not overrated.